These are Christmas hats. I've seen people use them.
Comic book, you know what you'd be called? Dr. Mysterio.
Are you Santa Claus?
Oh, no!
Everything ends, and it's always sad. But everything begins again, too. And that's always happy.
You heard it up top. Get ready to step out of the TARDIS and step into Santa's sleigh. Because we're talking some Doctor Who holiday specials here on Normies Like Us with your hosts, companion Colin.
I guess Dr. Mike.
And this is Santa, Jacob.
Okay.
Oh.
Santa Cobb. Nice.
Who.
Oh.
Yeah, it's we're kicking off the hula days with these hooligans right now, talking Doctor Who Christmas specials as we have for the last couple of years here.
That's right, our yearly tradition. Back again. This is part 3.
Mm-hmm.
There she goes. Part 1, of course, that was Sadie jumping down as she normally does. We love it. But
Was
part
it a
1, of
reindeer?
course, that's Rudolph. Yeah.
Yeah. But part 1.
2 years ago, we started this tradition with David Tennant, the 10th Doctor. We talked 2 of his specials. Then the year after that, we did, of course, the 11th Doctor, Matt Smith, did 2 of his specials. And now we're on to the 12th Doctor, the 12 Nights of Christmas, you might say. And yeah, it's Peter Capaldi this time. We're done with the Tumblr Twinks. And we're, grumpy old Scottish men are now in.
Oh, that's
what a
incredible.
change! What a vibe shift! I'm so excited to talk about that. Mike and I are the sort of Who noobs, and you are the Who's Who when it comes to Doctor Who, Jacob.
Wow. That's right. Yeah. This all started a couple years ago when I decided to do a rewatch of Doctor Who, which I was into in the 2000s, around the Tennant era especially. And I thought, you know what if I just start all the way back in 2005 and just go chronologically and see how far I can get in the Doctor Who series, which is still, of course, ongoing intermittently today. And the answer is I made it to about halfway through the Peter Capaldi era, and then I kind of fell off earlier this year. And to compound that, Doctor Who which was previously available on HBO Max, was taken off HBO Max over the summer, and is now pretty much not available in America to watch legally streaming. They made it very difficult to watch here. You can watch it on the BBC iPlayer in England, or if you have a VPN and you change your location to England, you could watch it that way. And there's other ways to watch it. But yeah, they made it really
I heard you
difficult
can
to
watch
keep
it
up
on
with
NetMax.
Yeah.
We'll see. Hopefully they get the rights back or something. I mean, it's been a weird couple years for Doctor Who, because they had this new deal with Disney where the 15th Doctor, who is Ncuti Gatwa, of course, everything from him on is now on Disney Plus in America because of this new deal with Disney and BBC. But even that's up in the air now. He's leaving Doctor Who, so the status of Doctor Who is very much in limbo at this point. It's never been less. The numbers have never been kind of lower in this Who era, so really, who knows what the future is of this long-running sci-fi show.
That is a bummer, and it is a super bummer that you have lost access to it. But beyond that, you did sort of fall off naturally, you're saying, in this Peter Capaldi era.
Yeah, only because, I was going through it, and I still liked it, but I just kind of fell off for various reasons. But the writing
you said you didn't want to
downhill.
get to the lady doctor or the gay doctor. What did you mean by that, Jacob?
You
said you don't
Doctor Who
agree
went
with them?
woke.
Dr. Woke?
I can't abide by that. Yeah, Dr. Woke. No, it's unfortunate. It's one of those things where it's like, I don't want to criticize the 13th Doctor, who is the first female Doctor, of course, or the 14th Doctor is David Tennant returning briefly, and then the 15th Doctor, Ncuti Gatwa, the first Black Doctor. It's not because of those reasons that I don't like those eras. It's unfortunate because it coincides with the decline in the writing of the show, changing in showrunners, and just a direction that I'm not that fond of. And most Who fans would probably agree with me that it's declined in quality quite a bit, and it's unfortunate because I think, of course, I don't identify with those people that say it's gone woke or anything like that.
Right. It's just a quality
Doctor Who is
control
always
issue.
woke, first of all.
Right.
Yes,
Star
of
Trek's
course.
always been woke. Right. That kind of thing.
Yeah.
I look at this as England's Star Trek. Is that like a
Oh, Mike.
No,
misapproximation?
I've made that comparison in the past, I believe.
That's
too.
right. Yeah, I think maybe.
And I mean, it started in the 60s, a long running show, briefly off the air from the late 80s until 2005 when it came back, and has been running off and on ever since. But again, in limbo now. We'll see. Maybe this is where it ends, at least for, a period of time. So
I love the idea,
Right.
Mike, that America has Old West in space, where space cowboys have sex with green ladies. And the
Mhm.
British were like, well, we have an old man who looks at rocks.
In a phone
Yeah.
booth. Yeah.
we have like an asexual autistic
Yes.
weirdo that goes
Yes.
around and
Oh,
saves people.
hello.
That's vaguely a wizard's wand, essentially, with the
Yeah.
sonic
Yeah,
screwdriver.
he's a space
Yeah.
wizard.
He's a space wizard.
And as I
yeah.
said, we're going from David Tennant and Matt Smith to very popular people in the Tumblr Super Wholock era of just, obviously having a certain audience that just loved those two iterations of the Doctor in particular. Two young, in their mid 20s or 30s when they started playing the Doctor, handsome, kind of quirky, foppish kind of British guys. And then to go from that to an old Scottish man named Peter Capaldi.
Yes.
That
There
also
is-
lost some fans with, that community, but it's a good
the
change.
teenage girls that, of
Where's
course,
my
used to
heart
watch the
throb?
shows.
Who was this old man?
Yeah. Jacob, we're going to talk about these episodes and specifically why you chose these episodes. These are the holiday episodes, what that means to the Doctor Who lineage. But just to comment on what you just said, there is a moment in the first episode you had us watch where basically in the last third, it just loses all the sci-fi stuff and becomes a conversation of an old man in a young lady's bedroom with them like deciding if they're in love with each other, where I was sort of like, what is this show? Like,
What is
like I
happening?
just imagining
yeah.
like young girls watching like this like old man be like, oh, come with me. You're like, what is this show?
Well, I should say there's always, the Doctor companion relationship generally never crosses over to romantic, even if there's romantic
I hope
tension.
not.
They stay away from that, except for one instance of course, Rose, Billy, what's her name? Rose, the popular,
Piper.
very popular companion. Yeah, Billy Piper. They did do like she's in love with the Doctor kind of arc and stuff, and she ended up with a clone of David Tennant.
Oh,
Doctor
that's right.
Wolf
yeah.
Mom. Is
That's
that her
right.
name?
Yeah,
Bad
Bad
Wolf.
Wolf.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Bad wolf. There we go.
Great stuff. But yeah, Peter
I remember
Capaldi, and
that.
maybe there are some people that are still like, into this older professor type Doctor
Oh
Who.
boy.
But yeah, we
A
have Peter
certain
Capaldi,
audience.
who I want to ask you guys how you feel about Peter Capaldi as an actor. Are you familiar with him at all from other stuff? I will say
Hmm.
an interesting thing about him is he grew up, of course, in the UK and was a Doctor Who fan as a kid, and actually would write into Doctor Who fan magazines and suggest episode ideas as a
Oh, good Lord.
kid.
That's
So
cool.
they would pull those up and say, yeah, so he's been
Um,
a fan since he was a young child.
He's not really somebody I'm very familiar with. Obviously, he's a cast member of The Suicide Squad, the James Gunn film, a film
That's
I
right.
enjoy very much. But very often when I'm watching that, I usually go, "Oh, right, Doctor Who's in this." Like he's not the main guy who jumps out to me. And I do know, Jacob, that he has like some kind of history. Was he was like previously on the show or something, right? In some capacity.
On Doctor Who,
Yeah, he played like a villain in some episode or something, maybe before becoming the
possible.
Doctor.
I don't
I know that he
remember.
became popular
Hmm.
because of that weird British satire show, the Thick of It. Is that what it was called?
Yeah.
Yeah, The Thick of It and In the Loop, which is
Yeah.
Armando Iannucci, who, if you're familiar with
Sure.
Armando Iannucci, he does like political satire shows. He made Veep with Julia Louis-Dreyfus on HBO. I'm a big fan of that show, one of the funniest shows to come out like in the last couple decades. And so I am a fan of Armando Iannucci, and he was really the breakout star of The Thick of It, where he played sort of this political operative who's like very brash and an interesting
People
character.
liked how much he cursed, and because of that,
Yes.
they were like, "What if he was Doctor Who?" Which seems very
Yes.
strange for this sort
This
of
angry
darker
Scottish
take.
man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a bit of a darker take. And well, that's the thing with Doctor Who, is always has like there's this darkness behind the whimsy, right? And that's kind of what they were going with. Even in the Matt Smith era, they kind of hint at that a lot, where it's like he's this all powerful alien god, basically, but he presents this sort of whimsical side. But really he's a very dangerous person, I guess.
He's been through tens of thousands of years, presumably, of like terrible like war and uprising of aliens. He's seen some shit,
Yeah.
you would think, right?
Definitely. And that's
that
always
kind of weighs on him.
an angle of the show.
Mike,
So we're
do you
into the-
know him from anything else?
I was just looking at his IMDb real quick. I know it says he was in Skins. I'm assuming it's somebody's dad or uncle. I vaguely remember
That's
that.
right. He was
Yeah.
he was the friend of Nicholas Holt's, like Nicholas Holt's best friend's dad, right?
Oh, that
Yeah.
is what it is.
That's right. They'd be down at the pub having a pint. And then he was in
He's a
Black Mirror, is like a weird hacker guy in the last season. But I don't know him from much.
I think he's probably in the UK. He's more known. He's sort of been a character actor in the UK for a long time.
Robbie
so
Williams
he pops up in a lot of stuff. Yeah. And I mentioned that he is Scottish, which is interesting because, of course, he's not the first Scottish actor to play Doctor Who. David Tennant, also Scottish, but used a British accent as Doctor Who, whereas Peter Capaldi is using his actual Scottish accent as Doctor Who. So there you go.
I was pleasantly surprised, I guess, because I didn't know who we were going to get as the Doctor when we were assigned this. Like, I wasn't familiar with his game.
Right.
So it was kind of a nice change of pace to have this different take of the Doctor, I'll say, at least, before.
Yeah, absolutely. And a lot of people do see kind of his era as unfortunately, the last good era. And, he turns into Jodie Whittaker, which nothing against Jodie Whittaker as an actress. I think she's a good actress, but again, it's the writing. It's everything else with that era.
The creative is lacking.
And those aren't allowed to date. Like, she would never have a boyfriend, and the gay guy would certainly never date a dude, right?
Well, the only romantic interest that the Doctor explicitly has is his wife, River Song, which maybe we'll talk about a little bit. Okay.
Part. I had a lot of questions about that. So cool.
Oh, we'll get there. Yeah. But the two episodes we're talking about today, I should say, are two of his 4 Christmas specials, specifically the first and third. So the first being Last Christmas, and the third being The Return of Dr. Mysterio.
Wow, now I want to know what the premise of the second one is.
Oh, I'll tell you. I'll tell you all about it.
Oh my god.
Why was it disqualified?
Yeah.
The reason I picked these two is because the other two are more lore dependent, more like you would need to know more about what's going on in the show, whereas these two are slightly more standalone, especially Return of Dr. Mysterio, very standalone.
Are there more Christmassy ones than Dr. Mysterio, which is not really a very Christmassy episode?
No, I mean, they always depend. Like some of these specials are more Christmassy, and some just
like
happen
they'll just
to take
be like,
place
"Hey, did you see the calendar?"
Yeah, right.
Look what day it is. See you later.
I'll say the second, speaking of River Song, which I'll talk about and explain who she is, but the second special in his era is The Husbands of River Song, where he meets up with his wife, River Song, which I'll explain. So River Song is a lady that is a fellow time traveler / architect who goes around doing stuff. But the thing with her and the Doctor is that their timelines are out of sync. So every time they meet, they're going backwards in time. So his first meeting of her was actually her last meeting, if that makes
it's
sense.
It's like we're meeting in the middle.
It's a Benjamin Button relationship.
The Benjamin
and she
Button
goes all the way
trailer.
back to the David Tennant era, when she first appeared in a great episode called The Silence in the Library, in which...
How did they do that? They just splice her in?
What do you mean?
Like they just splice her into the episode?
No, that was her first appearance in Doctor Who.
Oh, she's literally been a planned
Yes.
character with this inverted
Throughout
backstory
the
since
Tennant era, throughout the Matt Smith
introduction
era.
through 3 doctors worth of her
Exactly.
husband.
Wow.
That's
Exactly.
insane plan.
And
That's pretty
every
wild.
time they meet up, they're going backwards in time. So the first time they met was in the David Tennant era. First time he met her was actually her last time. And spoiler alert, she dies in that episode. The Signs in the Library, 2008, great episode.
Mm.
And that's the only time she met the David Tennant
Library.
doctor. Then she was a big part of the Matt Smith era. And then, so she's mostly a Matt Smith character. And then her
Wow.
one appearance with Peter Capaldi is her last appearance in the show. But that's why it's the Husbands of River
Here's
Song.
what I'll
It's their
say.
last night
Time out real
together.
quick. Here's
But
what
what-
I'll say.
Yes.
Time out
go
real
ahead.
quick. I have not continued to watch Doctor Who, Mike. I don't know about you
No,
after
no.
doing these episodes. No. I
get
don't
back.
really care for the show. I've kind of made that clear
Ooh.
sort of like through all these episodes that we do. But I love lore heavy things. And Jacob, I'm loving hearing you explain all this
Well,
stuff. That's all I
yeah.
wanted to interject with.
It's a very complicated sort
Yeah.
of mythology within the show, and it's hard to explain.
Seems
And I sound
like.
insane explaining it. But River Song is, spoiler alert, this is a big spoiler for the Matt Smith era, because the whole central mystery, a lot of the central mystery is like, who is River Song? Where does she come from? And all this stuff. She turns out that she is the daughter of Amy Pond, which, if you remember, is the Karen Gillan character,
I did not.
companion to Matt
I
Smith.
remember her. Yeah.
Sure.
Yes. So she is Karen Gillan's daughter, who, again, she was conceived in the TARDIS, so she has like Time Lord DNA. So
What?
she's like part Time Lord.
Wow.
Yeah. And
What?
It's a lot bigger on the
because her
inside.
true, you see,
I
her
don't
name
have
is
the
River Song, but
DNA of
her
a
true
KFC
name,
if I was made in a KFC.
Look,
My parents
it makes
hooked up in the
sense.
bathroom there.
her true name, you see, is Melody Pond. Melody Pond, River Song. You get it?
Mm-hmm.
So it all makes sense
Oh,
if you think about it
sure.
that way.
Oh, well, but wait, why did she change her name to that?
Look, you got to go. It's very complicated to understand. You got to go watch the whole Matt Smith era and everything. Like,
The
All will be
twist is
revealed.
you're all these characters we know as kids, aka the worst kind of twists in fiction.
yes,
Oh,
but
yeah.
if you're
she's a very
saying it's
important
good,
character.
I don't know.
And
Yeah.
she's sort of the female foil to the Doctor, where she goes around doing doctor-like adventures. Yeah.
She's a time archaeologist, is what you said.
Yes, but she
What does
sort of
that
has
mean?
she's more of a gray morally character. She'll do things that the Doctor wouldn't approve of and stuff.
Who is in Next Gen? Who's the space archaeologist? Who's Picard's girlfriend?
Oh,
It's
you
like
mean
a
Yeah, it's a lot like-
Risa? Yeah.
Right. It's a lot
What's
like her.
going on
basically.
here, guys?
Your main character always has to have a female archaeologist love interest that does
Yeah.
morally
It's
great
morally
things.
dubious.
And
Yeah.
does this Doctor kind of have a Picard energy, Mike? Is that maybe where even more of the Star Trek influence is kind of coming in?
I'm not sure if I'm getting Picard vibes. Maybe a little bit, but
Maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, he's kind of like an old professorly character. And what's interesting is the
Commanding old
Doctor-
guy who's like, "You bitch." You're like, "Oh, that guy called me a bitch," and I didn't like expect that. Yeah.
shut up, Wesley.
Well, the interesting
energy,
thing about
maybe.
the Doctor is that, of course, he's like, thousands of years old or whatever, but he always sort of takes the shape of a young, again, like sort of young, whimsical, quirky
Virile.
guy. And so
Twink,
to go,
you said,
yeah,
Mhm.
the
The Tumblr twinks.
yeah.
Tumblr twink.
So to go in the
Tumblr.
opposite direction and have this older, gruff guy it's an interesting direction, and I like it for this era. But yeah, so we have, what was I saying? Last
Did you
Christmas.
tell me one of his girlfriends turns into a robot?
It's possible. I mean, a lot of people turn into
possible.
robots.
That's
Sometimes.
fair.
It happens
All
all
right.
the
This one
time.
has a lot of companions, right? Because the second one, well, we'll talk about it.
Nardal.
I don't.
Yes.
In fact,
Yeah.
actually, I don't want to talk about it.
Well, let me just say, so we have Last Christmas, we have the Husbands of River Song, which again, you got to know who River Song is and everything that they've been through to really get the emotional weight of that episode. So I didn't choose that one.
Mhm.
Then Return of Dr. Mysterio I chose because it's more standalone. I thought you would like the sort of superhero angle that it takes. And it's a lighter one. It has less to do with the overall canon and plot of what's going on in Doctor Who. And then the last one is, of course, Peter Capaldi's final episode, his regeneration episode, called Twice Upon a Time. and it's where he meets his first incarnation, played by David Bradley. You guys know who David Bradley is, an older British actor.
Oh, he's the first Doctor.
Well, he's playing the first. He wasn't obviously the original first Doctor from the 60s, but he's playing that character. David
That
Bradley
guy's
from Walder Frey from Game of Thrones. He's been in a bunch of stuff.
Oh, I love that guy.
Oh, right.
Yeah. And so he's playing William Hartnell, the first Doctor, and Peter Capaldi meets him because it's basically about Peter Capaldi not wanting to change, not wanting to regenerate, and wanting to stay in this body. And the first Doctor kind of having that same. And so it's sort of a philosophical conversation between the two of them. And I thought that would be a little too canon heavy as well.
Boy.
So, yeah.
So the holiday specials, which they always do every year, are always a special episode. Is it always the first episode of a season or the last episode of a season?
Usually, yeah. It's usually between seasons. It's either the final episode of a season or it's, the start of a new season, or it's like they didn't do a season that year, so it's the one episode. Like Mysterio takes place a year after Husbands of Rare Song, but there was no season during the rest of that year. So it takes it's the next episode after the last special. Yeah. And before the start of a new season.
That's so
it just depends. It always changes. And then in the Jodie Whittaker era, they stopped doing Christmas specials and they started doing New Year's specials for a couple years. But they went back to Christmas for
more on Christmas. You can't say Merry Christmas anymore.
We gotta throw this girl.
I told you it went woke, dude.
Fucking ruined it.
Crazy.
They're turning their back on traditional values.
Hey man, what's happening to my dog?
But no, this is one of my favorite episodes to do every year because I can just sound like a madman and explain all this crazy nonsense to you guys who have no idea what's going on and try to make it make sense. And I love just rambling at you for a bit about this crazy show.
Yeah, because like for listeners who maybe didn't hear the other ones, this phrase, Christmas sharks, is fully in context from some of our previous episodes on this. So I do like that, just getting thrown into the deep end and just figuring out
it's really about you two guys going in really contextless and getting your takes on these episodes, knowing nothing about the surrounding show, where I try to explain to you. And of course, all these episodes, they're of different. Some are really good, some are not as good, and so I just like to get your guys' take on it. It's a fun episode to do.
It feels like the Doctor's TARDIS literally pops up in my living room, and he just runs around, and I have to catch up. Like I don't know what's happening.
That's right.
What's this guy doing?
Yeah, just a random background character.
But with that, should we jump into our first episode, Last Christmas?
Yeah, let's do it. Coming up next, Last Christmas on Normies Like Us.
We're back here on Normies Like Us. We're talking Doctor Who holiday specials. Specifically, we're talking Last Christmas. I gave you my
heart.
Head
mind.
Huh?
That's right. Colin, a couple years ago, I think when we first started doing these, you mentioned saying, like, isn't there one where Nick Frost plays Santa Claus? And I said, oh, yes, that's in the Peter Capaldi era. We'll get there in a couple years.
To catch up listeners on my entire history of Doctor Who, Joe, former host of this podcast and former roommate of mine, when we used to live together like 10 years ago, maybe, we would throw a show on in the background. And I believe Netflix had just gotten the rights to Doctor Who, and they had the Christopher Eccleston season and the David Tennant season. The only thing I have ever watched is the Christopher Eccleston season. Then we decided we didn't like it, so I turned it off forever. Many years later, I went home one year, had to deliver bad news to my dad and brother. I can't remember what it was. Specifically, I think I maybe just lost a job or something and was like, I'm going to be hitting you guys up for money. Let's see what happens. And was trying to like ease stuff over by being like, let's watch something. Hey, on BBC right now is the Doctor Who holiday special. Those are always funny things, right? And it was this one, and I turned it on. It was the only other episode I'd ever seen before.
Wow. And so do you remember what happened in that episode?
I remembered it very differently because I remembered like Santa having like a gun and like shooting aliens and stuff and being I don't know. It's kind of that. It's kind of not.
Yeah, this episode has a lot going on. And actually, to give you my take on it, this is, I think, one of my favorite Christmas specials. I love this one, and it's got everything. It's got sci-fi, it's got action, it's got an emotional through line with Clara, and it's got, of course, the appearance of Santa Claus, played by Nick Frost, famous, British actor, along with Simon Pegg, Edgar Wright, of course, their famous collaborations together. But the way I describe this one is it's Alien meets Inception meets the Santa Claus.
I have
So
in my
much.
notes, I have Alien, Inception, Thing of the Body Snatchers.
yes, it has a lot of obviously influences, and it just kind of
Yes.
mashes them together.
Yeah. And I do like that we get Saint Nick Frost in this one.
I mean, what
Yeah.
does the Saint Nick Frost? That's good, Mike.
Thank you.
What does the young lady's paper at the end say? It literally says like Alien. It says some other film.
She's watching
and then it
movies with her
says,
dad.
like,
Yeah. Oh, The Thing from Another
Yeah.
World was on there. Yeah.
Yes, and then there's
Right.
definitely something like It's a
Thrones.
Wonderful Life or something too. Like
34th
it's
Street.
clearly like that's what's the outline for the whole
Yeah.
episode. You know?
Yeah, it was 34th.
There's also Thrones binge watch or something, which I think is a meta joke because that actress was in Game of Thrones.
Oh, really?
That's right.
Well, you might recognize that character Shona. You might recognize Faye Marseille, Andor fans as Vel from Andor.
Right.
That's probably the most.
Vel.
Not for you, Colin.
Nope, never heard of her.
Ooh.
That's right.
But yeah, Andor heads. She's kind of in the has.
Otherwise,
What?
what? She's in like the brothel or something of Game of Thrones.
She played the character that Arya like trains with when she goes over to Bravos, like the waif.
Oh,
or
the
whatever.
mean girl, the waif.
faceless.
Yeah.
Yo, I love
What's
that.
her name in this
actress.
episode? Shona?
What's that?
What's her name in this episode?
Shona. Yes.
I have
I'm mad you even gave her a name. He just,
No,
at
'cause
one
I've-
point just calls her like, the girl.
No, I have written one quote from each of these episodes that I thought was really funny. And this one was referring to her. The doctor's like, dopey one. And she says, I have a name. And he goes, it's okay. I don't
It's
need
not
it.
important.
Yeah.
I've already erased you.
My favorite line.
Dopey. Dopey.
Um,
It's like dopey, stupid, sexy leader.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't need your name.
But she's a big part of Andor, and she's one of the she's Vel.
She's great in Andor.
So
Yep.
yeah,
Oh, wow.
shout out to Faye Marseille. But Last Christmas, yeah, I really like this episode because it has so much going on. It has an interesting sci-fi premise, and you think like, oh, Santa Claus makes an appearance. How's that going to work? But then they do it in a way that makes sense for Doctor Who, where it's like, yeah, he's in this because it's like a dream or whatever. So
Yeah. We get Santa really early. Like, Clara's sleeping. He crashes his sleigh under her roof and she goes out to investigate. But I like when the doctor shows up. At first, I thought he just had beef with Santa because he also has powers. It's like, you
right,
magic bitch, get out of here, But,
yeah.
Now, Mike and I don't know
Ridiculous.
Clara. This is Jenna Coleman, who I've seen on the Sandman show on Netflix, where she plays Joanna Constantine. But otherwise, I'm not familiar with this young lady.
I think she was in.
Well, we know
David Tennant
Clara
ones.
from last year because she
Oh,
was.
do we?
Yeah, she was she was mainly a companion to the Matt Smith Doctor, and
That's
she was
right.
in the big the Time of the Doctor,
Oh.
the big crossover with David Tennant and Matt Smith.
She's
from
gonna
we talked
kiss
about
this
last
old man.
year. Yeah,
Sucks.
she's one of the longest running companions. Again, she was with Matt Smith and Peter Capaldi.
What's
So
her
I'm
whole
surprised you
deal?
guys don't remember
Remind
from
me.
last year.
Was she born on the TARDIS? What's her special
No.
thing?
I don't know what her. I mean, she's just kind of she's Clara. She's a great companion though. We
It's
love
like
her.
that the doctor says,
I like her
says,
a lot.
You
You don't remember?
You're
from
going on
last year?
adventures. It's like a Rick and Morty kind of thing.
Yeah, it's truly horrifying the way he abducts this young lady in her pajamas, and it's like, get in my starship.
Don't ask any questions. Yeah.
No, Santa
Right.
help! I'm just
trying
a
to remember.
wee girl.
She wasn't in the so last year we did the Christmas Carol kind of send up, and now it's
Yes.
still in the Amy Pond era. Amy Pond and Rory, her husband, and they were kind of only briefly in that episode, but then so they leave, and then Clara is the next companion for like 2 seasons of Matt Smith, I think, and then 1 season of Capaldi. But he was in the Time of the Doctor, which is the big 50th anniversary special they did, where they had David Tennant, Matt Smith, they had
Yep.
John Hurt, the War Doctor, all that stuff.
Going
Billy,
into paintings. Yeah, the whole thing.
Billy
Is
Piper.
that where they introduced Peter Capaldi? Wasn't it like a big deal? When
Yeah,
his
yeah, they had one
ship
shot
kind of flies up at
because
the
he's
end?
like, all 12 of us, and then he's like, no, all 13.
I'm here
And-
too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's a great one. But I feel like you guys watch these, and then every
Yeah.
as soon as you watch it, it just kind
Yeah.
of goes out of your head, which is
Yeah.
understandable.
I'm happy to see every one of these characters every time I turn them on. I go, wow, it's nice to meet you.
Yeah, nice to meet you.
Yeah, but Last Christmas, and there's one big piece of context that you should know for this episode, which is again the emotional through line of Clara and her boyfriend Danny Pink, who in the season finale before this episode, there's a big two-parter involving Missy, who is the female version of the Master, who's the Doctor's arch nemesis, a fellow Time Lord, who's like the evil version of the Doctor. In this
Reverse Doctor.
incarnation, she's a woman called the Mistress or Missy. And Colin, I believe you know that actress.
I do. Yeah.
And
great.
she has a big plan with the Cybermen, who are reoccurring Who villains, and basically Clara has a boyfriend named Danny Pink. They kind of fall in love over the course of the season. She's a teacher. He's a fellow teacher who used to be a soldier. And the Doctor doesn't like him. There's kind of stuff going on, but eventually in this big two-parter, he dies and gets turned into a Cyberman.
That's just like Picard. Come on, Locutus of the Cybermen.
Yeah, but the big thing that ends the episode is that the Doctor and Clara both lie to each other in a sort of white lie of like, where basically the Doctor wants to go find his home planet of Gallifrey, blah blah blah. Clara, so basically Danny Pink has a chance to come. Basically, his brain is like stored in this hard drive or whatever. It's not important, but basically he has the chance to come back to life, but instead he gives it to this kid that he killed in the war by accident. He said, "You know what? You should come back to life or whatever." So he sacrifices his own life to bring this kid back. Blah blah blah. So
Onto
Clara,
the hard drive?
yeah, like they can bring one person back, I guess. I don't remember the exact details of it, but he essentially bravely sacrifices his own life to bring this kid back that he was haunted by, that he accidentally killed in the war. Anyways, so Danny Pink dies. It's very sad. And Clara lies to the Doctor and says that he did come back and it's okay to like go on your own adventure and go find Gallifrey. And the Doctor lies and said that he did find Gallifrey when he really didn't, to make Clara feel better. And so basically they're both, it's sort of a, what's that Christmas story, where the couple lies to each other or whatever. Gift of the Magi. Yeah, that's exactly right. And so they kind of part ways at the end of the season finale. And it's like, oh, they both lied to each other to make each other feel better. Anyway, that's important to know for this episode, I guess.
And then, so this is their first time
meeting after a period of time. Yes. A year, whatever.
64 years.
Right. And so that's kind of, the emotional through line of Clara sort of still processing the grief over losing her boyfriend, who also proposed to her, I believe. So they were going to get married and stuff. They, told each other, "I love you," and all that stuff. It's very emotional. And so she's got to deal with that. And that's sort of
will come into play later
message of the episode. Every Christmas is last Christmas, because you never know, I guess. So very sad.
Okay. Now that I'm caught up on the lore, yes.
Right. Hopefully that made sense to you.
Think about all that.
No, but like having it thrown at me, like now it does make more sense in hindsight, like of why that kind of came up the way it did. There are some stuff that, without knowing it, you just kind of
most of the episode, I was just pretty much thinking about how his name was Danny Pink. I was like,
Danny Pink.
His last name is Pink. That's interesting.
Danny Pink. Yeah.
Yeah. Danny. He was the math teacher at the school that she works at, and then the Doctor doesn't like him, so he calls him the PE teacher because he assumes that he's the PE teacher instead of the math teacher, because he's like, oh, you're just a jock, like you wouldn't be smart enough to be the math teacher, because the Doctor's a little bit
type
prejudiced.
of fucking jock. What, you play sports, loser?
Yeah. So they didn't get along at first, but then they grow to like each other, blah blah blah. But anyway, Last Christmas. So we get how's it start?
Crashing into the
Clara
roof, we get
wakes up,
Saint Nick
goes to the
Frost.
window. Yeah,
We're
we
just
get
normal roof
Santa
people
Claus
doing roof
and
stuff.
his
I'm
two
not Santa.
elves. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's where the cold open. She's like, "What? You're Santa Claus? You can't be real." Yeah, of course. Blah blah blah. The TARDIS appears.
Get the fuck
Peter
in,
Clara
Clara.
comes
I
out.
don't want any questions. Don't talk back. Just get in
Get
there.
in, Clara. I have to ask you. Do you believe in Father Christmas?
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
I think I do.
They
Oh,
get
no, I
in
do.
and they that's the title sequence. Blah blah blah. They show up and they're at this polar expedition
An
base
Arctic
where
research, the
yes,
thing location.
all of the thing, yes. And here's where we meet the other characters in this episode, the scientific expedition team who are
But
there.
what are they doing when we meet them?
Well, there's these strange, there's these sleepers, right, that are lying down in the infirmary. They say, "Oh, you have to go in there." She's Shona, right? She's dancing to the song, the Christmas song, and you can't think about them because if you think about them, they'll start coming after you, right?
You can't think about them or look at them. That's the rules of this creature. So she's doing a silly Christmas dance to get
Well,
across the room
but
for some reason.
But it's set up so mysteriously. It's 3 people in a control room are talking to a young lady who does not seem like she would fit in on an Arctic expedition at all. She's being briefed on the mission until she interrupts and says, "I have my music, don't I?" And they go, "Yes, yes, you have your music." And she goes, "Okay, that's good." And they all go, "Music, that's not part of the plan." And she goes, "Yes, it actually is because it will, get her loose and she'll be able to pull this off or whatever, right?" This door opens. That's when we see that it is just slabs, bodies on a slab, 4
Mhm.
other bodies on a slab where you're like, what is going on? And immediately she kind of looks down at the ground and you hear this voiceover saying, like, do not look at them. Do not think about them. Do not look at them. Do not think about them. And that's being reiterated over and over and over again. And that is when she hits the song and starts just breakdancing in place. And you're truly, as a viewer, I'm like, hey, this is an
That's a
interesting
tonal
choice
shift.
Jacob has set us on. Yeah, I'm not positive at all what is happening.
Right. But I like the setup of this because you're like, what's going on? There's comedic, that's something
Great
Doctor Who
writing.
always does where it balances like comedy and darker stuff and sci-fi stuff all together. So it's like, yeah, it's an interesting setup. And you can break it down to its elements of its influence. Obviously, we'll talk about, Alien and Inception and stuff like that. But the way it kind of puts it all together, I really like it. So
You have a movie on your planet named Aliens, and it's a horror film.
that's really
racist.
offensive.
Alien racist.
Yeah.
Racist.
My question is, why do they not have these things strapped down? But that's because it's,
Right, as we'll find out.
As we'll find out.
That's part of the mystery. But as she's doing this, that's when the Doctor and Clara show up, and they're like, "Check it out, we're here. It's all good."
What are these? Should I look at those? I'm going to look at those. Should I think about
Yeah,
those?
what the hell is that?
I'm going to start thinking
And
about
basically,
those.
they're human bodies with some kind of alien, face hugger type alien, you might say.
Call them head
attached
crabs
to
in
their
this, right?
heads. Yes, dream crabs.
Dream
crabs.
crabs. Yeah.
Yes. And so you're like, what the fuck is that? What's going on? The Doctor shows up. They're like, oh, what are those? She's like, don't make me think about them, you idiots. And
Don't
that's
make
when they
me
start
think.
to
Yeah, what
Yeah.
a thing to yell at. That's when
Don't make
they
me think
start to
about it.
come to life. Now, Mike
Yeah.
just said head crabs, which is a term that they threw out in this. Were either of you guys Half-Life guys? Did you play
Mm,
that
I was
game
not a
growing up?
Half-Life.
A little bit, yeah.
I was not at all, but that term head crabs, obviously outside of like scabies, like, ticks and head lice and stuff,
Oh,
like
right.
really seem to originate from that property specifically, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but that was probably, Half-Life was probably inspired by Alien to a certain degree. Obviously, the face huggers.
Oh, sure.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's probably where that term
Um,
entered my brain.
The Flood in Halo, there's all kinds of
Right.
The
things like
Zerg.
that. Right.
But yeah, so they start looking at him and thinking about him. They're getting up. They're coming at him. There's stuff scurrying around on the ceiling. And then the other scientists kind of have to bust him out. It's like it gets out of hand quite quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they bust in with the guns. They're like, come on, let's go. They start attacking. And then who comes in? Well, first of all, in the cold open, Santa said, "Look for a tangerine," or whatever he said, right? Said something about tangerine. Doctor said, "Nobody likes tangerines." Uh, and then
Now,
when Santa appears, a little tangerine rolls in.
there's an explosion in the wall, a little tangerine rolls in, a parade of toys. Now, we've done this for a couple years now. We've talked, go back and listen to some of our episodes to hear like the history of how Doctor Who's made, the standards and practices of like video public access shot in Britain, like how long it took them to get to the shift to like HD, and how different Doctor Who looks like now. When we started with David Tennant, that Spider Queen, we watched some old looking, filtered sort of
Yeah.
bad special effects. Doctor Who kind of a punching bag as far as like, like spaceships on wires, going across the screen, going like, look out, like things like
That's
that,
part of the
right?
charm of it.
Exactly.
Right.
Now, this looks pretty good. I think the special
Yeah.
effects for the head crabs look great. I think there's a lot of practical stuff in it too. There's a ton of practical toys here as they're doing this parade, including a little dancing robot that my brother had, that little black and white one that used to do this.
The Robo
But then
Sapien.
they do Robo Sapien, Mike. But then they do this CGI shot of all of these slinkies going where
Slinkies.
it looks
Yeah.
so bad.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
I like the
But I
idea.
mean,
TV budget.
I think the
Yeah.
production quality's started to get better noticeably during the Matt Smith era.
The set, oh, of course, because it's
Yeah.
became an incredibly popular show. The sets of the Arctic base where they're outside and you're thinking about how like it's actual stagecraft of what's made, then there probably is a true painted backdrop, then there probably is, some like generative fill or, some like added like video effects or something like that. You think about how like if they moved 2 inches, you would probably see so much plywood and so much, like foam and, like weird stuff that makes it. But then you think about like how amazing it actually fucking looks that they do get 2 shots of like snowy mountains behind them, fucking huge door that looks like it goes down to the center of the fucking earth. And you're like, yeah, dude, that's like a real fucking paid thing they made. That's awesome.
Yeah, I like the sets.
Sure.
I like the
Not
lab. I like the
CG
exterior.
garbage.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for real. It's not the volume.
No,
It's a physical
it's not
space.
the volume.
Yeah,
Yes.
so that's
Right.
good.
Yeah. And so again, this was 2014. This was again Peter Capaldi's first special in 2014. The second one we'll talk about was 2016. So just to give you some reference for when these were made. But this was December 25th, 2014 when it first aired. Also known as
Yo.
Christmas Day.
I didn't realize it was that long ago. That's crazy.
Yeah. Well, 11 years now, I guess you could say. A good era though, the mid 2010s.
Yep.
Anyway,
I like that we got a hole blown in our Arctic lab, a la the Thing, just from outside in rather than inside out this time. But that's a very clear kind of callback.
Yeah, like they just find an alien. Yeah, we just found an alien. Ugh.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, it's Alien, it's the Thing, and as we'll find out, it's Inception because this is very much dealing with dreams and layers of dreams. Because as we find out, these are aliens that are again known as dream crabs. They attach themselves to you and they project dreams. They put you in a dream state to sort of pacify you and keep you content while they suck out your brains basically and kill you. So they're eating your brains as they're putting you in this happy dream to keep you, placid, right?
Yeah.
So,
and as more people are being attached, like it creates a central dream and it's throwing everybody into the same scenario.
right.
At a certain
that
point.
would suck.
So at first, what happens is the doctor shows up, the scientists explain like what's going on, how they discovered the aliens and stuff, and that's how it all started. Now they're attached to certain members of the crew. Those are the sleepers, the lying down people that we first saw. And so the doctor's like, okay, Clara, go get the specimen or whatever. And well, first he mentions Danny Pink because he still thinks Danny Pink is alive because she lied to him, of course. And that's when she sort of slaps him and says, "How dare you?" or whatever. And she says, "Danny Pink is dead. Actually, I didn't tell you the truth, but he's actually dead." So he's like, "Oh, I didn't know." Blah blah blah. She goes and gets the specimen, but of course she's thinking about it, so it breaks out and attaches itself to her. She wakes up in a dream, and it's Christmas morning, and who's there? Danny Pink. They're happily living together, and it's her ideal reality, which is her and her fiance together. And so he's like, come on downstairs, and it's Christmas morning. Let's celebrate it together. As she's walking out, she sees this. She's like, "Oh, there's like a blackboard. Is that your blackboard?" She's like, "What are you talking about?" And it just says like what's written on it, dreaming. And she's like, "Dreaming." She wipes it away, and it changes to dying, right? And she starts seeing
Right.
dying everywhere. She's like, oh, she realizes kind of that she's in this dream state, but she almost doesn't want to wake up because she's happy here. This is, it's too too tempting to just stay in the dream forever. And so of course that's the doctor trying to get her out of the dream state. But this is where she's most happy.
Yep. And this movie came out way later, but it reminded me of Alien Romulus because we get a little bit of like, how do we get it off? I don't know how we get it off. What should we do? I don't know what we should do. And then the doctor ultimately says, put one on me. I'm going to go into the dream world and get her out. And that becomes his
basically
plan.
Like, yeah, he's like, well, can we kill it? If we killed it, it would also kill her. So the only way, is to go into the dream with her, and put one on him. And so, she spends the day with Danny Pink. They're content together, celebrating their Christmas. He shows up at the door. He's like, "Guess what? This is all a dream. This isn't real." She's like, "No, it is. I don't care. This is what I want."
You feel that ice cream headache you've had consistently right here. That's it pulling your skin up by half an inch to separate it from your skull so that it can slip in its tentacle. And I want you to think about my imagery here to slurp out your brain.
Yes. And she's like, "I don't care." Basically, the darker side of this is that she's like, "Look, I don't care if I die. Like if I have to die, like I'm literally happier in this dream with this person that died in real life. Like I don't want to go back to reality without this person, and so I'd be content to just like kill myself and just
stay
kind of drift away in this happy dream."
I like
So-
that the Danny Pink is kind of the creature giving her wish fulfillment. Whenever he tries to speak to the doctor, he's like, "Shut up! You're not real. Shut up, Danny Pink." Like,
Yep.
I don't care.
He's like, "Why do you keep saying that, mate?" He's like, "'Cause you're a figment," or whatever he
'Cause you're
says.
fake.
That's not nice.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
enjoyed that.
But eventually he's like, "Look, I know I am a dream, and like you have to actually move on because like this is what the real Danny Pink would have wanted."
Yep.
And so that's what eventually, the doctor's trying to convince her, and eventually it's actually Danny himself saying, "Look, 5 minutes out of every day you can miss me, and but
What a
after those 5
speech.
minutes, I want you to move on and live your life because I don't want you living in the past." And that's what the real Danny Pink would have wanted. So
And
very
feel 'em.
emotional
I
stuff.
deserve it. I deserve those 5 minutes of your sadness. Really feel 'em,
Yes.
because I was a hell of a guy, he says.
The Pinkster.
God damn.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's very emotional. And that's the message of this episode, why it's called Last Christmas, is every Christmas is someone's last Christmas. That's what makes it so important to spend time with, family and loved ones and friends. So,
Cherish it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So she eventually does. Yeah. Then if you're able to wake yourself from the dream, then the dream crab falls off your face and
Falls off
disintegrates,
and dies.
basically.
Yeah.
He
Disintegrates.
turns into sand. Yeah,
It turns into sand. It's a
Oh,
Sandman.
what was that?
All crabs
It
are
sucked
turned to
on me
sand
2
in the
seconds
end.
ago. Yeah,
Yep.
oh no.
And it literally is just like a face hugger that falls off. Yeah.
Yeah.
And at one point a character says, "Oh, that's just like a face hugger." He says, a face hugger? What are you talking about? He's like, from Alien, the movie Alien. He's like,
Oh,
"There's
yeah,
a
the loud
horror
guy."
movie named Alien? That's really offensive. No wonder people keep invading you."
That was pretty funny. Yeah. You have a horror movie called
Because, of
Alien?
course, the doctor is an alien himself, so he takes it personally.
Yeah. So they wake up Doctor and Claire, and then they're like, "All right, What did they decided that we're gonna get the fuck out of here and they're gonna leave?
Even before they went under, there has been this entire tease where the doctor keeps saying to them, "And what is your mission here?" They're like,
Mhm.
"It's a
Oh,
long
it's a long
story."
story.
And they just
Yeah.
kind of keep saying that. And now Santa is here. And while
Yes.
they're all under, he is like doing things. Like he's like walking
He's
around,
doing
like,
bits. They're like
making
questioning him
phone
about being
calls,
Santa.
being like,
Yeah.
hold on. Yeah, no, you got to deliver on the East Coast. Yes, no, do you hear what I'm saying? You got to get this done. No. I know what you guys are doing with this. Is very
Yeah,
important.
hold
And
on.
you're like, you keep being like, but like, when is this going to be about Santa? And it kind of
Right.
never is, but that's what's
That's
so
what's funny
beautiful
about
about
it.
the episode.
Yeah.
Is that
Yeah.
he's like, but I'm always here. And you're like, but why are you always here, Santa? And he's like, what do you mean?
I'm
I do
Santa, of course I'm
enjoy-
here. It's Christmas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like British Santa because like I just have it in my mind that Santa speaks American English only.
Yes.
So it was fun to have
right.
a British Santa, you know?
To have an actual
Um,
what they call Father Christmas. But the
Father
joy of it
Christmas.
is that they come to this idea that he floats to them as like, we're still under this. And he's like, and
Well-
Santa's your tell, right? And that Santa's like, yeah, I'm fake. This guy's fake. Like, obviously, the
First of
doctor's
all-
fake too. That was my favorite part.
Yeah.
Right.
So first,
Clearly
they're
this
talking
is all fake.
about the practicalities of being Santa and stuff like that. Of course,
Yeah.
of course I'm Santa. I know all about you, Shona. Like you loved My Little Pony when you were a kid, and so he's kind of
Mhm.
giving it back to him and stuff. He's got two like comedic relief elves that are cracking jokes and stuff.
How do
Oh,
you fit all that
yeah.
stuff in your sleigh? It's bigger on the inside. And the look on the
Yeah.
doctor's face, where he's like, God damn it.
Ooh.
God damn it, you.
Yeah. And of course it is Nick Frost. So like you would think the big draw of the episode going in is like, oh, they got a celebrity cameo. It's Nick Frost as Santa Claus. That's going to be a
Guess
big
he's
part
the
of the
real
episode.
Santa. It's like, what
Yeah.
else would he be? Yeah.
And of
And
course,
so-
that's the sign that they are still dreaming, is that Santa is not real. And so they've been dreaming the whole time.
Yeah, so we get now this realization of, oh, we thought it was a crew of 8, 4 of which got dream crabbed, but it's like, oh, the first 4 victims we saw are the 4 people we've been dealing with. And so
They're
we're
like the dream manifestations.
still
You
in
get
it.
the doctor does this dream test where he says, okay, there's 4 manuals here for you, right? Everyone turn to the same page, read the first letter, and if it's different, then that's a sign you're in the dream, because the dream can't make up this such a specific thing. Like each person would have, their mind would kind of make up something different, right?
Yeah.
So they do that, blah blah blah. And so eventually, they come to the conclusion that they are all still dreaming, and it's again very much like Inception, where it's a dream within a dream. And the doctor says, of course, the dream crowds would do that, because do you ever wake up from a dream, but then you realize you're still dreaming, and then you wake up again, and they want to trick you into thinking, that you never know whether you're dreaming or not, because that way they can keep you, keep sucking out your brain.
They
Mhm.
want you to feel uneasy so they can keep eating. Your body rejects that, your subconscious, by planting a positive idea that wants to push you towards reality. And when a young lady says, wait, so you're saying Santa's just like this idea of like a good thing to get us through that like we like believe in that like isn't real? And he's like, yes, that's exactly what Santa
Mhm.
is. When he says it,
Right.
like that's like such a perfect phrasing of truly like the idea of like, why do humans believe in Santa? It's like because we need something to like believe in, basically.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And that's when Santa, as you're saying, is like, yeah, of course I'm a dream. Like, of course you're dreaming. I'm not, I'm Santa Claus. He's a space alien that flies around in a police
These are
box.
both ridiculous things
We're the
that
same
can't
level
be
of
real.
ridiculous. Yes.
Yeah. Again, what is your mission? Like, we don't know.
Yeah.
Like,
Right. It's a long story. There's certain signs that they're dreaming. Like the one guy is just like always eating
Yeah.
for some reason. He's like, I'm
When he
so
says at one
hungry.
point, he's like, man, you've been working on that turkey leg for an hour now.
yeah.
Yeah. The one lady, Shona, is like, yeah, you don't seem like a scientist to me and stuff. She's like,
Yeah.
kind of a,
Hi.
you know,
Well, what do I seem like then? You gotta understand, listeners, too. Like every character in these episodes is like, what? What this? It's the
Right.
doctor, isn't it?
right. It's a very
Yeah.
British show, of course.
It is
But that's
the point
that's
of
how they
national
speak
pride.
over it.
You just want to be
That's
like
normal
just,
to them.
Hey, just be quiet for 2 seconds. God,
Yeah.
Look, Colin, that's normal to those weirdos over there
Yeah,
in the
those
British Isles.
freaks.
hmm
They think we talk weird,
Ugh,
Of course, we talk normal, like normal Americans.
disgusting.
It's not. It's called Americanish. Now we're taking it back.
That's
Yeah,
right.
it is.
Yeah.
Um,
So they had to figure out how to wake up from the dream, and ultimately, they resolved that Santa, because he knows where they all live, he could drop
Well,
them
they're
off
so
at their house, or
well.
is it later?
Hey, boy,
You're
this is
getting
very
ahead a little
tricky,
bit,
but
but first,
Sorry.
yeah,
first of all,
we
they
gotta
realized,
beat the old lady first.
since the first attack, when the doctor showed up, they were attacked by those creatures. We've been dreaming. That's what they think, right? And that's when
Yeah.
Santa Claus showed up. So they realized that.
Clara, what are we doing here? It's hard to explain.
It's a long story. Well, they're
Mm.
about
Even
to
us.
leave, right? And then they're
Yeah.
like, wait. Clara's like, wait a minute. We first saw Santa on my roof. So like even before we went to this Arctic base, we've been dreaming. And that's when the doctor realized it. Then he comes back. He's like, all right, I'm back, blah, blah, blah.
That's
Because
right.
he was ready to just like forget those people. Like, they're not important. I don't need your names.
That's their problem.
Yeah,
What was
yeah,
that?
yeah.
Was that a joke? I didn't understand. He acted so crazy for those 5 seconds where he's like, "We gotta ditch these people."
I don't know why.
He's just like, I don't care.
They're
we gotta
too
get outta
annoying.
here.
Yeah.
He found about that
Yeah.
horror movie called Alien, and he's like, "Oh fuck these people, I'm leaving."
They're
Yeah.
dangerous. What, to themselves? No, but there's an alien there. There's also polar bears. You want me to go kill those?
Yeah, that was good.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
So he's like, okay, we're all still in a collective dream together. That's when they're like, well, you know what? Oh, Santa will get us out because he's kind of our dream guide or whatever. Like he's something we can all believe in.
I guess.
And well, the sleepers wake up. They start reaching through the TV or whatever. They're like, oh, they're the dream manifestation of these people, and don't do it. And that's when the one guy gets basically killed because he goes into the TV.
That's right.
And this is something I like about this episode too. It's very Inceptionist, but it actually gets dreams better than the movie Inception. I think like it understands how dream logic works in a lot of ways where it's like, yeah, sometimes things just don't make sense or there's weird
Mhm.
irregularities.
Don't know
And
how you got there. Yeah.
yeah, I think it understands dreams better than the movie Inception, I will say.
The very
Uh,
clinical
Yes,
Christopher
that's my
Nolan who
big
dreams
criticism
with no
of
creativity.
Inception is that Christopher Nolan doesn't understand dreams at all, and so that movie doesn't work for me on the same level. So yeah, so basically Santa's like, yeah, I'll give you a ride back, basically, and they all get on his sleigh, and they have a nice little ride on Santa's sleigh.
go.
He's
don't
running
wanna-
a 3
I work in a
reindeer
shop.
setup, by the way.
Yeah,
Only 3
Yeah.
reindeer. I thought that was I didn't like it.
I guess they couldn't afford the other reindeer.
He's
When
got
he shows
Rudolph.
up on Rudolph, and he like parks Rudolph, and he makes the
So-
car
Yeah,
parking
what a
noise.
bit.
So
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, but they all get on Santa's sleigh. He's like, I'll give you a ride back to reality, basically. And as they're flying through the sky, they slowly one by one wake up. And Shona realizes, like, I work in a shop. I'm not a scientist. I work in a shop. I'm just a working class British lady.
I work in perfumes. Yeah, the one lady
Yeah.
remembers. Account manager, isn't it?
Right. Yeah, there's like the older lady who's like, why are you working as a scientist? And then she turns out she's like an old grandma that is in a wheelchair. the whole
Yeah,
time.
that's right.
a grandmother.
Sorry, Gran. Must have
Gran,
dozed off.
Gran, are you coming to Christmas? Oh, I must have dozed off in my wheelchair.
There's a pile of sand next to me.
Shit all over myself. I had to dream about the crabs again.
Christmas
Shut up, you
crabs.
old bitch.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm
And the
gonna
Shona,
get your
I like
money when you
Shona's
die.
kind of arc of realizing she's just like a normal working class person that works in a shop. And also her thing is that she's kind of seems just lonely the whole time. She's like, oh, we can meet up after this and like hang out, right?
We
And
can have, like,
everyone's
a
"Yeah, I
reunion."
guess so.
Well, that's what, and then it says her little note says forgive Fred,
Dave.
or
Yeah.
Dave, yeah, and she marks.
So it's
that
like she's
off.
got a list of things to watch. She's all alone on Christmas, wakes up in her like cluttered house alone, and she looks at her
Probably
list.
just got broken up with, or just broke up with a guy. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
has forgive Dave 3 question marks, and then she wakes up and thinks, you know what, I will forgive Dave because I'm
Little check mark.
so lonely. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I had to dream about the crabs again, so we're back together, mate.
Mm-hmm.
And
I was
Good.
hoping that they would get a reunion. And by the end of this, I was like, oh, that would be cool to be like, hey, man, remember that shared nightmare that we all lived through? Let's get a cup
I felt
of
bad
tea.
for Shona because she was even like, Clara, do you want to like meet up and just like get a curry after this? Like, we
Mhm.
could hang out. And Clara's like, sure. And the doctor's like, very likely will not remember any of this, of course.
Right.
As often in a very dreamlike thing, where a dream feels so real to you when you're dreaming, and then as soon as you wake up, you like forget all the details of the
It
dream
slips
like
away.
immediately, unless you
Do you
write it
think
down.
you guys have gone on any adventures with the doctor and then he's erased your memories?
Oh,
I'd like to think so. Yeah.
I assume I have.
the next episode we'll talk about increases the likelihood of that because usually he's only hanging out in England. He doesn't do a lot internationally, from what I can tell.
Well,
but
he goes to
we'll
New
get
York
there.
sometimes. Yeah, he
Yeah,
goes. He
so
goes places.
Maybe I've been on an adventure or two with him. Yeah.
New York City.
Anyway,
I forgot to mention. You were saying earlier, Peter Capaldi was in an earlier Doctor Who episode as a different character in the episode where David Tennant goes to Pompeii. A great episode where he
Oh.
goes to Pompeii right before the volcano explodes.
That's nice.
Okay.
And he
Peter
plays
Capaldi's
like a Greek guy. Yeah.
Mm,
Sounds cool.
nice.
So I just remembered who he was.
Nice.
It was all a dream.
Santa
So
is like, "Hey, doctor, you wanna take the reins? You wanna run these reindeer?" And the doctor's like, "Yeah, kinda. I actually do."
Clara says,
Yeah,
I
right.
always believe in the doctor. He just doesn't look how I remember him.
always
And
believe in
gives-
Santa.
Or I always
yeah.
no, I always believe in the doctor. Is what she
Right.
says. She says,
Well, she said, I always believe in
Santa.
Santa, but he looks
Gives him a
different
big
than
hug.
I thought, or
Yeah.
whatever. And then she
And
gives him a
gives the
hug.
doctor a
and
hug,
She loves
yeah.
Doctor. Yeah. And that's kind of Clara's arc, is that she just loves going on adventures with the doctor. And several points throughout her, like they didn't know if she was going to come back. Jenna Coleman, actually in Matt Smith's last episode, she was like, at the last minute, she's like, I will come back for another season. So they kind of rewrote the ending to like for her to come back.
He blows up, and they're like, "Actually, she's fine."
Yeah.
Mhm.
And so she's like, okay, I'm gonna wake up now. She wakes up, and then the doctor's last, and he goes, well, what happened? I guess he
He goes to
shows up
check
at
on her.
Clara's. Yeah, and he's
Yeah.
like, has it been long? And then she turns around, and she's like, actually, it's been 62 years, and I'm an old woman now.
No.
And
Mhm.
he's like, what?
Oh, you look same to me, child. Now, what have
Yep.
you been up to? In my
Well, a running
life, you
bit for the
mean?
doctor is that he can't tell how old humans are by looking at them, so he like gets things like in the next episode we'll talk about where he's
What are you,
like
36?
He has
36?
bird
I'm like an
blindness?
8-year-old.
I'm
Yeah.
8.
He has age blindness in humans.
Right.
So he's like, I don't know, have you changed much? He gives her a mirror. He's like, oh, I'm an old lady now.
Yep.
But
I
then
miss adventures.
Well, yeah, they go
Miss
down and have a
doing
catch
things.
up. Yeah. What have I
Right.
missed?
Of course, I love Santa, and I still have these ice cream headaches.
That's
Well, she
right.
tells him
Wait a
about,
minute.
she talks about her life without him and stuff. She says, well, I went on a lot of adventures and stuff. I learned how to fly. I never married anyone after Danny Pink. Like, there were a lot of proposals, but I turned them all down and stuff.
Mhm.
And then, after spending, some time together on Christmas, they realize like, oh, guess what? Are we still dreaming? Dun, dun, dun.
Yes.
It's another layer of the dream. Oh, I still have that headache. And so the doctor then finally realizes he's dreaming again, wakes up again, and then goes to the real Clara, and she hasn't aged 62 years. She's the same age or whatever. And yeah, they wake up.
But she's in bed. He was in like how did all these people get the crabs
Desert
on?
planet. Yeah, I don't know.
So I think he was on some kind of planet where the crabs first attacked him, and then from his memories knew about Clara, and then the other people got pulled into it somehow. They're collateral damage, as they say, but none of them were actually scientists on an expedition. That whole thing was a
Right, they're
dream.
just at
They were
their
just-
house, and
Yeah, everybody's
one
been
random
sleeping
crab
in
was
home.
like, "Num num 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 num. I'm gonna eat on you. I hope my brothers aren't eating on any sort of space gods anywhere who will,
Yeah.
you
Mess this
solve
up for
our
us.
Right,
collective." Yeah.
right. So then they wake up, and the doctor's like, "Hey, do you want to go on adventures again? I know I've been away for
I
a while."
love adventures.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and so that's kind of how it ends. And
Don't even argue with me. Just get in bed with me, you dumb young little girl. Yes, I'm 82 years old. I mean, truly, like, when I'm watching at the end of this, and she's just
He's
in her
82
pajamas, and
trillion.
he's like, don't even say a word. Just say yes to me. And he's like barking at her and stuff. I'm like, what is this?
Well, I don't know. He's the doctor. All his companions, to a certain degree, fall in love with him, but
Yep.
he's like a weird asexual
He
alien that can't
seems like a
reciprocate love.
monster. It's the
Yeah.
underpinning of why I don't like the show is he seems like a sociopath.
Well, that's the whole thing is there's always the darkness there of like he had to like genocide his whole race
Had to.
to like save the rest of the universe because of course there's the time wars, which was the Daleks versus the Time Lords.
We all
And so he
remember.
decided to like
Mhm.
genocide everybody to stop them from destroying the universe. So that's a choice that he had to make, and he has to live with that. And so he's done a lot of dark stuff in his past, and that's what a lot of episodes are about, of like these decisions of like having to make a bad decision to sit for the greater good. You know that
Mm.
the many versus the few, right? As Spock would say.
Right. But yeah, they end up saying, let's go on another adventure. They get in the TARDIS, and we have this like frame within a frame. And as the TARDIS disappears, a tangerine is revealed to the audience. And it's like, oh, was Santa really behind it?
Ooh, is he still there?
Yeah.
Right.
Or is it still a dream?
So that's Last Christmas. I
Dreamy
don't know what
weemy.
you guys thought. As I said, yeah, dreamy. Oh, as you would say, dreamy weemy or whatever.
Yeah.
He's making
Oh
fun
yeah,
of
he
the
does
doctor.
burn him like
Santa
that.
Claus
yeah,
is. Yeah, he's burning the doctor left and right. Again, I really like this episode. It's one of my favorites of all the Christmas specials. I think it's a really solid one for someone. If you wanted to know like what Doctor Who is all about, like this is a great episode to just jump into because it kind of gives you a little bit of everything. It gives you sci-fi, it gives you comedy, it gives you emotional stuff. So it's really kind of got it all going on. But I want to know what you guys thought of this episode.
First of all, I will say we have clementines every Christmas, so I don't know what the doctor's talking about. Nobody likes tangerines. Get out of
Tangerines.
here.
And that is a Christmas, like
Alas.
Christmas oranges are always like a thing, I guess.
Yeah.
Like maybe more in England than here even, but
But you could have called this episode Tangerine Dreams, maybe.
There you go.
Yeah.
I like that.
But I thought it was fun. I liked the alien, body snatchers kind of Inception concept. I think it did it well, even down to like, how long have you been
It's not
here,
hiding
Claire?
its influences at all, right? It's very open
Sometimes
about
it's explicitly stating them or writing it on
it's
a
like
sheet
hanging
of
a
paper.
hat on it by mentioning alien within the episode. Yeah.
Yeah, or writing the names of the movie on her
Right.
list.
Circling.
yeah.
Should I watch The Thing on Christmas? Yeah.
Yep.
Hmm.
But I enjoyed it.
Um,
I had fun with it. So yeah, this was a good one.
I don't know. I
Colin?
found them both to be pretty weak entries, honestly.
Mm.
And I have no memory to stack it up against the other ones. It's truly
Christmas
just
Shark.
an instinctual. But Mike,
Christmas Shark is
I love
good.
Christmas
I
Shark.
got no memory of Christmas Shark. I'll be honest with you.
Michael Gambon.
Yeah, I mean,
Christmas Carol.
I liked the Christmas Carol aspects of it. I liked
Yeah.
that this one had Santa, and that certainly made me like it more than the superhero one, which I just flat out did not like. I'll spoil that before we even just sort of talk about
Interesting.
it. But
Interesting.
I did not find any joy in the "it's a dream and a dream and a dream and a dream" reveal, because the whole time I kept thinking, yeah, that's what it's going to be.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess that's fair. I don't know. I like this one though.
Yeah, I had fun with it. Miley
Peter
Mayberry,
Capaldi
I guess,
doesn't seem
listening.
like he's my doctor. It seems like
Yeah.
my main guy was probably Tennant.
Tenet.
you know,
I still
like
like the
everybody
most.
else. So
Mm-hmm.
You like
Yeah.
Tenet? What about Matt Smith? You liked him or no?
I like them. I like them all. I like Capaldi too. I like all three, but I definitely in the reverse order.
Yeah.
Tenet, Smith,
Yeah.
Capaldi.
Colin just
Yeah.
has no whimsy in his heart. I think that's the
I
problem.
have no patience for Doctor Who. I'll be honest with you. It's like he just seems so crazy. He just seems like a maniac.
He's too
That's
whimsical.
okay.
He is a maniac. That's the whole thing.
Yeah.
That's why we love him.
Yeah.
He's a lovable maniac. But that's Last Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
Let's move on to our next episode. That is The Return of Dr. Mysterio.
Oh, we're back here on Normies Like Us, where we're talking the Christmas specials of Doctor Who. Specifically, we're about to get hit by the 619 because we're talking about the return of Dr. Mysterio.
Nice pull. I like that.
I'm doing my
Sonic
screwdriver. I wish I had one of those.
Sonic screwdriver.
Yeah.
Um,
Fix
yeah.
anything.
Return of Dr. Mysterio. Again, this
Superhero
is
one.
the third. Yes, it's a take on it's their take on superheroes, and I will say up top, I do think this is the weaker one. It's again, it's more standalone. It's a little bit lighter, but I can see why, Colin, you're saying already off the top you didn't like it.
So on Wikipedia that literally the president of BBC at an awards dinner like cornered Stephen Moffat or whoever the showrunner was like and was like, Doctor Who should meet a superhero. And Stephen Moffat was like, sounds great.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like when like the top of the top is like, this is a popular thing. He should be hitting, the fucking, dance moves or so. He should be hitting the gritty or something. You're like, okay, you got it, my
You got
man.
it.
Right.
They should make
Well,
Rush
again,
Hour
this is-
4.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is
Sucks.
2016. This is sort of the midst of superhero,
Mm.
mania. You got the MCU,
Yeah.
you got Zack Snyder's DC universe going off, and this is Doctor Who's take on superheroes. But of course, it's got a sci-fi concept to it as always. But this is starring Justin Chatwin, as of course we all know from the movie Dragon Ball Evolution from 2009, in which he
I
played
felt
Goku.
invested in this guy. I don't know why. I didn't watch Shameless. I'm
Right,
not familiar with any of his works other than that I'm positive he must play something like Greg Goku or whatever like way they find a way to like make it like, it's
American.
like American as possible. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Did you guys ever watch that Dragon Ball?
Oh
movie?
yeah.
No, I refuse.
I don't remember anything about it. I feel
I
like I
wake
watched it, but I just
I love it. I've
Yeah.
seen it like 100 times.
That's wild.
It's great.
See, I've seen Shameless, so I just wrote in my notes, Jimmy Steve.
There you go.
'Cause he
Yeah,
has
you were saying he was
different
in
names that
Shameless.
show.
I didn't even remember him from Shameless, and I was like, no, it's the guy from The Bears in Shameless, and you're like, oh yeah, but that's a different character. They were both
Yeah.
in Shameless, but you didn't even
Correct.
know that the guy from you forgot that the guy
He
from The Bear was
dated
in
Emmy
Shameless.
Rossum, and
For a bit.
they dated in real life, I believe, for
And
quite
she
a
was in
long
that
time.
Dragon Ball movie too.
Yeah, I think
Whoa.
that's why. Yeah, she played Bulma. Mike.
Yeah,
No. Oh my
She
goodness.
has like
yeah.
just
One
like
blue streak.
one hair spray painted blue, and they're like, and I'm Bulma Smith, and I have a gun, and I'm American, and you're like, oh yeah, dude,
Right.
Oh man. Maybe I
we
will have
gotta
to
do it one
subject
day.
myself
That
to
was when
that.
Hollywood's like, look, this Dragon Ball thing is popular. We got to do something
Yeah.
with this, and they made
Yeah.
the worst.
15 years after it was popular, they go, hey, it's finally time we come a knocking. Let's
That's right.
change
James
everything
Marster,
about it.
Spike from Buffy was
Yeah.
Piccolo, if you
Oh,
remember.
my
Great
goodness.
stuff.
But yeah, I'm more of a Jimmy Steve guy than Goku guy, I guess. But I was
Okay.
intrigued to see him. Not that I'm super invested in his career, but I was like,
Yeah.
it's him. What is this going to be? It piqued my interest. So I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's that.
Justin
Here we go.
Chatwin, hasn't done much other than the things we just mentioned: Dragon Ball,
All two of them.
Shameless.
Yeah. And tell me, so on the other spectrum, Jacob, we're introduced to a new companion. Tell me about what's his name?
Well,
Pringles?
Oh,
Nardal. Yes.
Tell me about
British
tell me
Bake
about
Off.
Pringles.
How do I explain Nardal?
Oh boy.
I did not like Nardal.
This is Matt
You didn't like-
Lucas. Matt Lucas,
Yes.
if you
British
pointed
comedian.
to not even just an actor, not even a human being, if you pointed to a thing and said, Colin, picture a thing that would repulse you more in the world, it would take the shape of Matt Lucas.
It would.
I'm just
it
saying that
would.
because he's bald.
I'm saying that because I find everything about this man to be repulsive. Personality
Sure.
first, then going to voice, looks, appearance, everything
Mhm.
about the man.
Well, he has alopecia, so he has a condition where he has no hair, of course.
Mm,
Famous for that show Little Britain.
okay. And
If either of you guys
Not
are,
familiar with that.
sketch comedy, a huge British comedian. So
Yeah,
it makes
British
it
comedian,
makes
he's-
sense that he would end up on this show.
right.
He's been in a bunch of stuff, and his first appearance as Nardal was actually in the previous Christmas special to this one, which was again the Husbands of River Song, where he was an employee of River Song, and he actually, it's hard to describe what happens to him, but he kind of gets turned into like a robot.
Okay.
That guy
Has
does?
a lot of
A lot of people
Most,
get turned into
most of
robots.
your answers of what happens to people is they kind of get turned into
Yeah.
a robot. It's never that they get turned into one, it's that they kind of get turned into a robot.
Vaguely.
Yeah.
The fate I hope does not befall me.
That's called a cyborg.
Yeah.
If you're
Right.
kind of a
But then-
robot. Yeah.
He
Kind
kind
of
of
a
you
robot.
think that he kind of dies in that, but then the doctor
Not at
apparently
all.
saves him, and basically his head gets put onto like a robot body, but then the doctor puts his head back onto his body, I guess, and he becomes a recurring companion to the doctor briefly. And he's in the next season after this episode, but he's also the next season also introduces the new full-time companion to the doctor after Clara leaves, which is Bill Potts, which is a girl named Bill who becomes
Well, I was
his
going to say
companion.
Fred. Didn't you tell me Bill also turns into a robot once?
That's her ultimate fate, is that yes, she gets turned into a
Oh,
Cyberman
wow.
as well.
That sucks, dog.
Bill Potts.
Look, when you say it like that, yes, it sounds silly, but it makes sense if you watch it. It's actually
Okay.
very sad that she gets turned, like, basically
Sure.
a thing that, and this comes into the if you watch the David Tennant 14th Doctor episode, The Giggle with Neil Patrick Harris, where he's like, hey, a lot of your companions are like dying. Like basically they all end with like all their runs with you, the last couple like ends with them dying in a horrific way. And he's like, yeah, but look, these things happen or whatever. So he's kind of throwing that at him. But yeah, Bill Potts does die and get turned into a Cyberman at the end of her run. But her thing is she's a lesbian. Well, that's one of her things, and so she's the
Her
first like
thing.
That's
openly.
her only thing.
That's
What's
not her
her
only
thing?
thing, but
What's
uh,
what's my thing? I'm a
Uh,
lesbian.
he plays
she's
baseball.
I guess the first
She's a
openly
lesbian. Yeah.
gay companion to the
Fair.
Doctor, maybe.
That's good.
But Nardal, to explain who he is
can't.
again, he's killed and ends up as part of a cyborg body, but his body is rebuilt by the 12th Doctor. He becomes a companion in the following episode, The Return of Dr. Mysterio. But what's interesting about him is he's an alien. He's not a human. And of course, previous companions generally tend to be a female, a young female human, that kind of start the Doctor just like, I need some young girl following me around, I guess. This time he's
Right.
like, you know what? I need this weird bald alien guy
This
following
Make a
me
Wish
around.
alien. Come hang around with
Yeah.
Yeah, if I'm gonna beat these allegations, I gotta really beat them here.
me. Yeah. We gotta go way
So
off
for a
type.
whole
Right.
season, it's just the two of them.
No, the season, like the next episode after this episode will introduce Bill Potts. Actually, if you watch the end of the episode when they kind of give the teaser of the next season, that's when you first see her. But
I
he's
hit it
kind of an
immediately,
off and on
though, I'll be
companion.
honest with you.
Okay.
Ooh. He's kind of an off and on companion who often is like a reluctant companion. He just wants to like stay at the home base basically, but has to go on adventures, and he's kind of like a reluctant companion.
Does
Like
he
he started
live
as a
in
one-off.
TARDIS?
I guess maybe, I don't know, but he started off as a one-off character in The Husbands of River Song, but then Matt Lucas was like, yeah, I'd like to come back, and they're like, okay, yeah, we'll bring you back. And so then now we have Nardal, and he is sort of a
Okay.
divisive character with fans. Like some fans aren't huge fans of Nardal. So
I'm one
I
of
will say
them.
that.
Those fans are correct.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Uh.
poor Nardal. We love him.
But that's our
Uh,
setup. We're in the Big Apple. That's our who we're gonna be running with. When I first
Well-
saw New York and Christmas, I was like, is this gonna be a Batman Returns kind of send up? It wasn't,
Mm.
but that was my initial
It's
thought.
more of a Superman send up. And
Yeah.
again, it stars Justin Chatwin and Charity Wakefield are kind of our one-off characters in this episode. Charity Wakefield, who plays the sort of Lois Lane character, is a British
Oh, yeah.
actress, British stage actress. And I guess you might have been able to tell that she was a British person playing an American because I think she kind of struggled with the accent at points. And but she's fine. It's fine.
Yeah.
But it is funny that they got a British actor to play an American in this British show.
Well, they only flew Justin Chatwin over there. Everything else has got to be local.
Yeah,
You know?
I
Yeah.
guess, what's that worth? Why hire him? I guess.
Yeah. Affordable.
I don't know.
A lot of shameless
But
fans in the writers room.
the episode starts with the doctor showing up on Christmas Day on the roof of a New York apartment building. He's got some kind of sci-fi device going on there, and a young lad, a young comic book obsessed child, hears him on the roof and comes up to investigate. And
This is
yeah.
where you really get the feel that it is Rick and Morty. When it's like
Mm.
a booming, big, explosive old man who's like profane and screaming at you and has to like scare you out of bed, and you're like a little sick, and you're like, what's
are we doing?
happening? What is this? He's like, I need your help because of this. This is ah! And you're like, oh yeah, okay,
Very
yeah.
Rick and
My
Morty.
parents are home. I don't know that I'm supposed to be. Okay, whatever you say, sir. And
Oh,
he's like,
geez,
Right.
gives
Peter.
you a thing, and he's like, I'm the doctor. Call me the doctor. And you're like, and I
I'm the
should take
doctor.
this medicine. He's like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
baby.
No, so basically, so this kid wakes up, and you see from his room already that he's sort of obsessed with comic books. He comes up, he meets this old man on the roof with some kind of weird sci-fi device. He says, "What's going on?" Blah blah blah. I have a little bit of a cough. The doctor says, "Oh, take this glass of water that I pulled out of my pocket." Very whimsical. But then he gives him a glowing D20 and says, "Hold this."
That's
Yeah.
Jacob. I was
Yeah.
like, wow, he's just holding a dice. I was like, this is interesting. This is some sort of D&D episode.
And After
Yeah.
Effects dice, yes.
Well, this is the rare gem that makes this machine. It's sort of like the battery of this machine that the doctor has.
There's 5 in existence.
Yeah. But as the kid points out, this guy who introduced himself as the doctor and gives him a glass of water and what looks like some kind of pill or medicine after the boy said that he had a cough. So of course the boy swallows it. And then so as he's, as the doctor's doing whatever, he's like, all right, now give me that gem. I'm going to put it in the machine and it's going to turn on. It's some kind of sonic net or whatever that he's going to capture aliens with, or I forget exactly.
What he's doing.
No. The best joke is when he says, here, hold this. And he gives him the glass of water. And he's like, where'd you get this? And he says, it was right here. And he says, in your coat pocket?
Mhm.
It's
Yeah.
sense.
I like when the kid sees the machine and he's like, "Oh, what's this? Oh, it's a whatever." He's like, "Yeah, what do you think of it? It's pretty." And the kid's like, "It kind of looks like crap." Like,
He says, looks cheap. He's
looks
like,
cheap.
What would you know, you dumb kid?
What do you know?
Uh, So the kid swallows this rare alien gemstone, which we find out it gets its power from basically whatever you wish for, like
Draw
Whoa.
the energy of the nearest yellow star to coalesce that to grant your wish.
That's right. It's a wish granting gemstone. But of course he swallows it believing it's some kind of cold medicine. And
He starts
this,
flying
of
away.
course, superhero obsessed kid. What's his greatest wish is to have superpowers. And so the doctor's like, "Uh-oh, you swallowed it." The kid starts levitating, and he's like, "Oh, you shouldn't be doing that, probably." And he's kind of just like, "Okay, you know what? Just promise me you're not going to like use these powers, and everything will be all right." And then he kind of just leaves.
But
and
the
then
kid's answer is, sure. I love that he doesn't say yes or no. Or he goes, sure.
Sure.
Yeah.
Do you promise? Sure.
So, time passes, and the kid grows into Justin Chatwin.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, always having these superpowers, and as we finds out, he can't even he has X-ray vision that he can't control, which leads him to not want to look at anyone because you can see anyone he looks at is naked, I guess, is what they're
Well,
insinuating.
the whole episode's told in sort of a non-linear style where we keep getting the repetition that the doctor has returned to him over and over to be like, hey, you don't have those powers still, do you? And he's like, I do. There's still a part of me. And that's my favorite sequence, Jacob, because that kid actor is really good when he's just looking at the ground the whole time and the doctor's like, well, you don't have confidence or something? He's like, nah,
I'm not shy.
I just can't look at anybody.
don't want to look at
control this
everyone
X-ray
naked.
vision. And he's just looking
Yeah.
down and a girl goes, hi. And he's like, hey, how are you?
Yep.
Yeah. As it turns out, that's his crush, which is Charity Wakefield, this character that he's known since he was a kid. But it's yeah, you don't want it's you if you had the ability to see anyone naked, you wouldn't always want to use it because you'd be so tempted to use it, but also
yeah,
know that you shouldn't be doing that.
No, and
yeah.
It's horrible.
It's like the the puberty metaphors. Like he can't control it. I think he learns to control it later, but at that time it was really rough
Right.
for him, right?
Well, it says it grants his wish. It's pushing it further because your teenage mind wants to see these girls
Oh,
naked.
geez. Okay.
Right. That's kind of the insinuation, I think. But the puberty metaphor is good because it's like, yeah, on one side you want to see your crush naked, but also that it's wrong. It's also an invasion of their privacy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like a lot of times the X-Men come into their powers more at like that age. That kind of thing.
But it grants his wish, and of course his name is Grant.
Yes, isn't it like Grant Gordon or something? It's a comic book name.
Grant Gustin.
Sure, there you go. Oh, I'm sorry. Actual best joke in the episode.
Grant Gordon.
When the doctor goes back to his room and sits down, and he's going through the comic books, and he goes, "I want you to see something." So he goes, "Okay," and he says, "I need you to look at this, okay?
Superman.
Look at this right here. See this? See this? Now look down here.
Clark
Okay.
Kent.
These
He is
two different
Superman.
pictures. Do you see?
I drew spectacles on.
And do you see what I've done in the
Oh, yeah.
It's like, yeah, everybody
as you
knows
see in
that.
this panel, I've gone ahead and drawn spectacles on him so you can really
Right.
tell.
Yeah, and the
It's
kid
just
just looks at him like he's
everyone
an
knows that.
idiot. It's like,
Yeah, that was
yeah,
good.
everybody knows that. It's like,
Lois
I didn't
Lane
know
doesn't know that. She's a reporter and she doesn't know that.
Yeah.
that. Yeah, that is
I
fun.
like how they play with that the whole episode of it's like just his glasses, like that bit.
Yes.
Yeah.
And again, this is very much a take on Superman in particular, where Grant, aka the Ghost, is essentially Superman. He has basically Superman's powers, and his disguise is he's just wearing glasses, and he's in love with a sort of gutsy reporter woman named
Well, this is crazy because
Lucy.
It's
Yeah.
Lucy, and so she had married his best friend from childhood.
Yes.
He had a crush on her. Then he passed away, and now he's the nanny for that
No,
child. Right?
They had a kid, and then the guy left.
The guy left.
Right after they
That's
had his
right.
As soon as
kid.
he saw the kid, he left.
Yeah,
he
he
got
took
scared.
off. And so now
Right.
I'm the nanny for the kid. So that's like the twist, is that he's a superhero, but then his alter ego as a normal guy is he's the nanny to this kid that he was like friend zoned by his crush, basically.
That's right.
And-
I said my nanny is a he. And a lot of people
There's
have
nothing
a problem
wrong with that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he goes,
Right.
I don't care.
I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Well, you seem like the kind of guy who would.
Yeah.
But the doctor returns to New York because he's investigating this alien, sort of what's the overarching alien threat of the episode, which is this mysterious company called Harmony Shoal.
Okay, maybe I did love this episode because, fifth best joke of the episode is that Lois Lane, our reporter, is doing this independent investigation where she's looking and she's making notes and she kind of mouths something out loud. And then it's revealed the doctor's there too. And he's
like
also
behind her,
just
he's
kind
eating
of like on his
sushi.
stakeout. Yeah, he's eating sushi. He's like, it's not my fault you didn't bring a snack. And it really made me laugh, the idea of like, if you were in the CIA or something and you were doing a stakeout and someone else was just like, well, yeah, I'm also like aware of this. So like,
Yeah.
we just happen to
I'm
be
also
doing this
here,
at the
and then
same
my weird
time.
bald alien friend is
Yeah.
also here.
Yeah.
Nardal.
The Nardal. There's a lot going on, but the Harmony Shoal is an alien race that again was also introduced in the last Christmas special, The Husbands of River Song.
Mm.
But they're like this evil alien race that are just a bunch of like brains, and then they put their brains in human body or whatever host that they can take over.
Here's what this episode has working against it, Jacob.
Uh-huh.
This is exactly what I would make as a parody if I was like, what's a dumb alien Doctor Who would do? I'd be like, I'll put googly eyes on a brain in a jar. Like that
Right.
that'll seem menacing enough to people who watch that stupid show. And the fact that this episode co-stars someone we have seen in a Doctor Who parody, Inspector Spacetime, Matt Lucas plays the guy who's like, "Oh, you're being such a Minerva," or, whatever. Where they also
I didn't
hate
think
the
about that,
female
yeah.
Doctor, Jacob.
Ooh.
It sucks so much that you're just like, well,
Well-
this all just seems like a parody.
But that was probably after that he was actually in Doctor Who.
Yeah,
because
but
that
the
would've been
fact that the
after.
guys have to be like, and we open half of our heads.
That's
you're
the
just like,
special
"Ah,
effect of it is that
it
they have
looks
this diagonal
so
line
Stupid.
and they open it up. They've got their brain. But I would say this whole alien plot is sort of secondary in this episode to the superhero plot and the Superman of it all, of Justin Chatwin and what he's going through as
Yeah, it
this
doesn't
Clark
matter
Kentish
at
character.
all. And the whole time I kept being like, I bet the twist will be that the gem still works and he has wished nemesises into the world, or he has
Mm.
wished people who can take his powers away so that he can finally have a normal life or whatever. When it's kind of not revealed to like tie together at all, I was kind of like, oh, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, again, they were
Yeah.
introduced as villains in the last Christmas special, Husbands of River Song, which again, River Song is the doctor's wife, blah, blah, blah. They're going through time in reverse. And the last episode was their last night together. And as Nardal is sort of explaining at the end, to give context to that, basically, they spend one last night together on this planet where one night lasts 24 years. So they actually spent 24 years together and had this sort of happy life together. But the doctor knows that's the last time that they'll be together, because then next time after that is when she meets the David Tennant doctor in 2008, Silence in the Library, great episode, and then she dies. Spoiler alert.
Mm.
And so that's when Nardal at the end is talking about like, oh, she died in the library a long time ago. That's what he's
24
referring
years. What a night. That makes that line make sense.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
It all makes sense. The doctor gives that speech about everything ends and it's very sad, but everything begins again, and that's very happy. And so that's sort of the emotional through line here. But again, this is a lighter, standalone episode, more comedic, and has less to do with the overarching plot of Doctor Who, I guess. And they are kind of transitioning into a new era, which will be Peter Capaldi's last season, introduction of Bill Potts as the new companion. And so they're, it's a transitionary period. for the
Right, right.
Doctor.
I have a quote from this episode that I thought was funny. It's after the ghost saves somebody at the evil headquarters or whatever, and his love interest is there, and he says, "Can I give you a ride home?" And she says, "Do you have a car?" And he says, "No." I thought that was good.
Yeah. And again, it's a very Superman where she kind of has an attraction to his superhero alter ego, which is called the Ghost, which essentially has just Superman's powers.
Mhm.
He can fly, he has super strength.
Oh, something I wanted to say about the difference between this and James Gunn's movie that just came out.
Mhm.
I think people were so worried about doing a modern Superman because they thought the dialogue would come off like the Ghost, like the intentionally corny that he's doing, where he's like, I hope this is your apartment. They all look the same from up there. Like that sort of
Right.
like stilted delivery. He's doing that on purpose. He is doing a parody of how Christopher Reeve kind of comes off in those first episodes. And the beauty, or those first movies, and the beauty of the James Gunn movie is that like it's actually incredibly earnest the way that he like talks
Yeah.
and delivers lines to that effect, right?
Yeah.
He is more Clark Kent than he is Superman in the James Gunn one. Like he
Yeah.
is Clark Kent.
Right.
He's
Yeah.
just that.
Well, that's
earnest.
it's how he was raised, small town farm boy, earnest guy, and that's what's kind of all about. Is like Lex Luthor sees him as an alien, but he sees himself as human, and that ultimately that's the disconnect between them in that
Right,
movie.
right. But Grant Gordon grew up in the big city, so he's gotta do
He's in New
bits.
York, born and raised, but I shall say, as the Ghost, he does wear a mask, so it's not just the glasses.
True.
Mhm.
As his human, as his Clark Kent form, he does wear glasses, but he also wears a mask as a superhero, so it's not just the glasses.
That's
I like
Um,
you better in your superhero costume. Oh, I'll put the mask back on. No,
no,
please.
Oh,
put
yeah.
your glasses
Your
on.
glasses.
That's the ending.
Because you as a manny are my superhero.
That's right. She
what's-
realizes he was the superhero all along. Yes.
Yeah. I agree with Colin when he says
Or-
it ends on a weird note, because he's like, well, I still have my powers, but I'm just gonna retire, I guess, now. From
Right,
saving
but
the
I'll
world.
keep the suit in case anything bad ever happens, but I am gone and the doctor's back and the doctor will take care of things. And you're just like, okay.
Yeah. All right.
Well, that's the thing. It's like, he was away for a while because of the whole River Song thing, and essentially, the Doctor is this superhero for the planet Earth. Like he's a protector of planet Earth. Any kind of aliens that try to invade, he's there to protect us, right?
Working with UNIT.
Mostly they go to
Yes,
England,
unit.
but it protects the whole
Well,
Earth.
England is the center
Mostly
of the
they
world, of
attack
course.
that big what do you call it?
Oh, the
The
butt plug
the
thing.
tower or whatever.
Yeah, whatever that thing's called.
I want to mention
But yeah.
the aliens' plan in this is essentially, I think they're going to do a bit of terrorism in New York to
Yeah.
get all the world leaders to assemble and then replace their brains. Is that what they were planning?
So the plan is, so they've opened up these centers in every capital city in like a
Right.
lot of major countries around the world. But then, as I think Nardal points out, New York City isn't a capital city.
Mhm.
That's Washington D.C. for America, and so they're like, oh yeah, I guess that's true. But then they realize, oh, they're going to do like a false flag operation, basically,
Yeah.
where they have a spaceship in orbit that has a bomb that's going to blow up New York City, except for this center that they've opened, this building that's built to withstand the blast. So it's going to be the only thing that survives. And then in every other major city, people are going to be like, oh, the world leaders are going to go to that center because they know that it'll survive, and that's when we're
Right.
going to put our brains in their bodies and stuff.
Yeah.
So that's their
And-
plan. They
and-
realize,
Yeah.
yeah.
No, I just
What's
think
that?
it's funny. We're going to take over all the world leaders, and then we're just going to keep doing like global economy. Like we're just going to maintain. We're just going to be
Yep.
running it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, with
But-
our world leaders, they wouldn't even find a brain to replace.
Nice.
Ew.
Ayo.
Ayo.
I do like though when he opens his head and then he's just like keeping his gun in the head.
He pulls his
a
gun out of
normal
his head.
gun.
Yeah, not in his
Jacob,
pocket.
that-
not a holster.
That is what I was like. I truly out loud said, "Oh boy!" As I saw that, I was like, "Oh boy!"
Right,
Wow.
right.
Yeah, I have it
It's
written down
Something
here.
else.
I keep a gun in my head. Yeah, that was great.
Right. Where else would you want to keep it? And it's all like gooey and has like brains all over and
It's all
stuff.
blue.
Not a very
Yeah.
quick
Blue
draw
there's nothing
situation.
but blue liquid in here. Oh, he's shooting all
Blue.
that blue liquid out of his nose.
I don't like the
So-
diagonal cut.
But with the
dumb.
superhero stuff, what's going on there is that Lucy is like attracted to the ghost, obviously, and they agree to go on a date, which she's gonna like interview him on this date or whatever. But then, of course, he's secretly just Grant, who is her nanny, and so he's like, okay, yeah, we'll go on a date, and he's secretly in love with her, of course, but I guess she just never looked at him that way because he was always a friend to her, but she never saw him in that light as Grant, right? So they go on this date. He almost reveals his identity to her, but then she says something about like, oh, and Grant, wow, he's such a great guy. He would never lie to me. He's never lied to me in his whole life. And then Grant's just sitting there like, oh shit, maybe I shouldn't reveal that I've been lying to her
Right,
about
right.
my identity.
Classic.
Lots of superhero shenanigans, but it's fairly
Yeah,
typical.
then the brains come and they try to take over, and I guess they say that they want his body is the thing, right?
Because he's super powered. He's like, well, obviously this will be a perfect specimen to put a brain in because he has these superpowers. So he's the ideal body for
That's
that.
right.
How would they even cut his head open? They've shot him with bullets. It doesn't work.
Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe they have some kind of alien technology that will
An alien
really work.
cutter.
Yeah.
But the spaceship is crashing. I like when he catches the spaceship so New York doesn't get terrorized. And then the doctor is like, your plan would have never worked because he's like not even left-handed. And he's like caught it with his
Because
offhand.
he is left-handed.
He is left-handed and he has
he's
it
caught
with
it
his
with his
right
right. He's
hand.
holding the baby monitor. Yeah.
That's right. He never
Right,
let go of the
right.
baby monitor. Yeah.
He's got to balance these
silly.
two important jobs of being a superhero and being a
Truly.
nanny.
Mhm.
And so as soon as he hears the baby crying on the monitor, he, super speed goes back home, changes, and turns into Grant.
Mhm.
But basically, yeah, the aliens are like, so they show up to the date and they're like, guess what? If you don't, surrender to us, we're gonna kill Lucy. And then what happens? I don't know.
They just like
It's
get
not
pushed
important.
over eventually when the bomb is crashing because the doctor is in the spaceship flipping levers and stuff.
Yeah.
And Nardal.
Who cares?
Yeah.
Who cares? Is
Oh, yeah,
my
then
answer. It's
the ghost is like, yeah, the ghost saves the day by catching the spaceship before it
Yeah.
blows up. And then he's like, you know what? I will have to reveal myself as Grant.
Because he does that normal
Then,
people
yeah,
clothes,
boy.
right?
shocking.
I can't even remember what happens, but
The Nardole claps and we all went home. It was great.
That's right.
yeah. But then, well,
Mhm.
then of course Lucy realizes like, oh, I was in love with Grant the whole time, and they're like,
Mhm.
okay, yeah, we're in love now. We're gonna be in a relationship, and then Grant's like, okay, I guess I'll retire being a superhero. But then they're like, yeah, what if anything bad happens? So like, weren't you like saving people a bunch? And he's like, okay, yeah, I guess I'll keep the costume. But yeah, then the doctor's like, I'll take it from here. Don't worry. And that's kind of how it ends. Yeah, emotional speech about things ending and stuff.
Mhm.
And yeah,
There
Not
you
the
go.
most Christmassy. We get like, look at the calendar.
No.
Literally, basically, is what we get at the very beginning when he meets the
when he
doctor.
first
it's like
appears
Christmas
to the
Eve.
kid, yeah, it's Christmas.
The rest
but,
of it is not.
You know, they don't all have to be Christmassy though. You know,
Right.
they're just
But-
they air on Christmas Day, but they're not always Christmas themed.
But in those same ways that when you like eventually get the comic book issue of Iron Fist, where you're like, this is the origin story where he's a kid who was raised in the magical country of Kunlun. And you're like, oh, okay. And this, if you were like, the ghost, he got his pill from the doctor who said he was the first doctor, and the magic pill gave him any powers he could dream of. Like you do. And it was Christmas. It was on Christmas Day this occurred. That is one of those details where you'd be like, yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, sure.
Right.
I guess
Christmas
the
Crusader.
ghost got his powers on Christmas. Sure.
Yeah.
And again, so the name of the episode, The Return of Dr. Mysterio, comes from
Yeah.
when he's meeting this kid, and the kid's like, well, if you were in a comic book, your name would be Dr. Mysterio. And he's like, oh, I like that. I'm going to use that.
Oh, yes. I
I
saw that
that's very
it's a
funny.
parody because the name of Doctor Who in Spanish broadcasts in Mexico was El Doctor Mysterio.
Oh, that's awesome.
I do like
619
that.
Returns.
And of course, there is a real character, comic book character named Mysterio.
I don't know
He's
if
a
he's
Marvel
a doctorate.
character. No, he's not
Oh.
a doctor. But then there's also Rey Mysterio, of course,
pro-
a
and he's a
real life
doctor.
superhero.
I did like the line,
Booyaka.
the kid's explaining Spider-Man, right? And he's like, oh, he got bit by a radioactive spider. Do you know what happened next? And the doctor's like, I don't know, radiation
poisoning, probably. Yeah.
No, he got the powers of spider. Well, better than the powers of throwing up and losing your hair.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's why we love the
decent
doctor.
stuff. But yeah.
That is why
Yeah.
I love the doctor. I say we swing on over then to our final thoughts on both these Christmas episodes.
Let's do it.
Absolutely.
We're back here on Normies Like Us. We've said ho ho hoo to Doctor Who, the holiday specials. Now we're about to step back in that TARDIS because all of space and all of time lie in that machine and are at our fingertips to go and explore.
That's right.
Mhm.
And so we talked last Christmas. We talked the return of Dr. Mysterio. And overall, this is the 12th Doctor, Peter Capaldi era. Again, I agree with you that Return of Dr. Mysterio, not the strongest one of these. It's again more standalone. It's more comedic, lighter. It doesn't have the emotional weight that some of these have, so I don't like it as much. Last Christmas I like a lot actually, but overall I think these were good choices to choose because I think again the other two, like, you guys would have been so lost for Husbands of River Song. Choice Upon a Time might be interesting, but I don't know how you guys would feel about that. So I tried to pick ones that you guys would like more, I guess.
The one with like 4 doctors and like the Time War, that was like kind
Yeah.
of hard to get into, but I enjoyed
Yeah.
that too.
That's my favorite.
That one
That
was
was the
great.
biggest homework we've had so far.
Yeah, so we got 2 genre send-ups basically, and I definitely prefer the first one. you
Yeah.
know, sci-fi horror as opposed
But
to
again,
pure.
it's their take on superheroes. It's kind of a satirical take, but it's fun.
And kind of novel, you know, like they don't have superheroes in England. They have Constantine, but Keanu made him American.
That's right. It just seems
That's right.
such a blatant cash grab of like, I don't know, what if he met Marvel or DC? You're like, great.
The movies that came out that
that's
year,
what's popular.
yeah, was Civil War, Deadpool, Doctor Strange, and Dawn of Justice.
In the new
Right.
episode
And Man
of
of Steel would have
Doctor
been-
Who, he meets up with 5 kids who have been pulled into something he calls the downside up, and he must help them with their things that have
Well.
gone strange. You're like, yeah, great. Okay, you got it. my
Confounding
man.
oddities.
The thing about it, you know, the Think about this: the Man of
name's
Steel,
11.
Zack Snyder's
I'm
Man of Steel.
Sorry.
It writes
Zack
itself,
Snyder's Man
What?
of Steel would have come out in
What?
2015. So
Okay.
this came out the year after that. So it's a
Ah.
different take on Superman that, it's more faithful to the, I would say this is more like Superman Returns.
Wow.
Ooh,
We
A
were
great,
hungry for this kind of
A BS
Superman at
movie.
this
yeah,
point.
right. A
Yeah.
BS
Yep.
movie. We don't love him. No, this is the Peter Capaldi era. So overall, what do you guys, I mean, we talked about it, but Peter Capaldi, 12th Doctor.
I like
What
when
do you
he's
think?
mean.
Yeah,
to
he's a
his
little bit meaner.
inferiors.
He's gruff. That's what we like about him.
He's funny. He's just not my favorite. I don't know. He just
Hmm.
doesn't have the Tumblr twink charm that I guess
No.
I'm hungry for in my Doctor Who's. I don't know.
Right. But I think after Tennant and Matt Smith, who are more similar characters, they
Yeah.
wanted to go a different direction and try something different. And of course, they go a totally different direction next with Jodie Whittaker, and then the return of David Tennant, which of course they've never had a returning actor come back to the Doctor, and he turns into an old face, and briefly, and then he turns into Ncuti Gatwa, the 15th Doctor, the first Black Doctor, and that's where we're at now. Again, he's leaving the show, so
So-
as far as
Hmm.
what's going on in the future of Doctor Who, it's very much up in the air right now.
Did Ncuti and did Jodie both only do one season?
No, they both did multiple seasons.
Okay.
Jodie Whittaker did like 3 or 4 seasons, and
Oh, wow.
Oh wow.
yeah, I mean, think about it. Like, she was the from 2018 to 2017 to 2020 something. So I don't remember exactly, but let me look it up.
Yeah, a couple years.
But it was multiple seasons with her.
Yeah.
Yeah, 3.
I'm moving through the time streams to help Donald J. Trump steal January 6th with his insurrection.
Oh,
Oh,
no.
okay, Doctor, why are you doing that?
The series has
I'm
become
just reading
too
about the
woke.
future. Again, there's this whole deal with Disney Plus, which even that is up in the air, whether that's going to continue.
Right.
In
We might
October
just be done.
2025,
We
the
might not
BBC
be replacing the Doctor. We might just be putting him away for a couple of years.
Oh,
huh?
man, yeah.
Well, let me read this. So in October 2025, the BBC confirmed the show would return with a Christmas special in 2026, written by Russell T. Davies, and with plans for the 16th series to be announced at a later date. So we'll see.
There's no chance, dude.
I plan to have an announcement to announce.
Yeah, I plan to have a plan.
We'll see.
Yeah.
I mean, it's up here right now. I think as far as our episodes, if we did it next year or if we did it again, I would probably jump into the future and do maybe the returning David Tennant episodes plus because they go back to the Christmas specials with that.
They
and
do
with
the New
Judy-
Year's, right? They screwed her out of Christmas.
Yeah, they started doing them on New Year's instead. So there's New Year's.
Jodie.
And
You know
again,
better,
those-
Jodie.
the companions are terrible in those She has like 3 or 4 different companions at the same time. So she's just running around with like a crew of people, and it's just like
Yo,
it's like an
I'm
old
Jody.
man. And
These are the fucking
Yeah.
6 weird dudes I hang out with. You're like, oh god.
Well,
yeah.
Okay. Cool.
But I do
Alright.
like I did like the David Tennant 14th Doctor specials, and then we get the Church on Ruby Road, which is Ncuti Gatwa's first Christmas special, and it's the first Christmas special since Twice Upon a Time, which is Peter Capaldi's last one. So maybe we'll jump ahead to do that next year, or maybe we'll do something different. But
Hey,
I like
either way, I'll just continue not really caring that much about Doctor Who. If we do it, I'll watch it and it'll be fun.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about it. And if you cook up something new for us, I'll enjoy that probably just as much. So
again, I like to do these episodes because I get to nerd out and ramble about this insane sounding show to you guys, and you guys go, "Well, that's all sounds crazy to me." As
is there
the-
any other
Who
show that
noobs.
has like a dedicated Christmas special?
I don't know.
Not like a
Oh,
long running series that I know of.
Yeah, like Family Guy started to do like Hulu exclusive holiday specials, and you're like,
Mm.
okay, I guess.
Did they do them? I mean, The Simpsons did Christmas stuff. They always did Treehouse of Horror, but
Yeah,
Right.
not really Christmas. No.
and this is they're explicitly the Christmas specials. Like that's how they're
Yeah.
listed.
Yes.
It's not
Well,
the
they
holiday
always-
special. I titled it
Yeah.
that way, but
And
No,
that's
it's
part of
Father
why
Christmas.
they went woke, because they turned their back on Christians
God
and said,
damn.
you know what, we're doing New Year's specials now. But part of it is they do air on Christmas Day in England.
so it could just be the day.
you're
Yeah.
sitting at home in London, you open your Christmas crackers, you turn on the BBC and say, oh, let's see what the doctor's up to today.
Jacob,
Oi.
find us
Boy.
a Boxing Day special. Find us a show that covers Boxing Day.
Right.
Yeah. The
Um,
great state of
well, I-
Canada. Great
I
state.
just like to talk about Doctor Who because it's such a strange show to try to explain anything that happens. I think again, it's varying levels of quality throughout different eras of the show, but I compare it to our CW shows, our Flashes. You know, we love the Flash.
Oh yeah.
Not all those seasons were great. Sometimes they had
No.
questionable production values and things like that.
And you could throw into my face at any moment, Jacob. I mean, you just unlocked it to me. But we've said it in past episodes where I'm like, I've watched all of Legends of Tomorrow, which was the CW ripping
Yes.
this off as much as they could. Like I
What
have
if we had
no
like
room to speak.
a British time traveling guy who, again, what's his name, Rip Hunter or whatever in that show,
Yeah, Arthur
actor
Darvill was
in
was
Doctor
one of
Who. He
your
was
guys.
Rory,
Yeah.
Amy Pond's boyfriend. So
I watched him get murdered or whatever last season. But let me ask you guys this: is there a famous Star Trek Christmas episode?
Not that I know of. I don't
Not that
think
I know
so.
of.
There's no holodeck episode where Data does like Scrooge or something like that. Is that because
Oh,
Patrick
God.
Stewart played Scrooge?
He just
in
did a
one of
Christmas
those
Carol
famous
for real.
movies?
Yeah.
Yeah. That he was like, we shan't be parodying about.
Maybe
I think part of like Roddenberry's vision is that it's, we're post religion in this futuristic
But do they-
society. No need for religion anymore.
But there's Life Day, obviously, so famously from Star
Oh,
Wars.
gosh.
Does Trek have anything?
anything holiday
know.
related. I don't think
Is
We
there
could
so.
we
any
could talk
episode
about
where they're
the-
like, we're celebrating the thing,
The Guardians of the Galaxy Christmas special featuring Kevin
We've
Spacey.
done an
We could
episode
talk
on
about
that.
that. Did we?
Yes, we've done an
I don't even
episode on
remember.
that, Jacob.
We did the Star Wars holiday special, of course.
We've done an episode on that. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, I
Star
don't
Trek
know.
Christmas, Mike. Nothing coming up.
I'm seeing.
Tell me about this Earth holiday that you have. I'm Worf. Like, there's no episode like that.
I'm not a
We're
very
too
man.
involved.
Half
You don't
Klingon,
need-
half Earthling. I have to celebrate both days.
I have to teach Alexander what Christmas is.
Yeah.
Still
Klingon
the
Christmas is
core.
all about
Still
defeating your
awkward.
enemy in the field of battle.
Alexander, wrestle me by the pole, the pole from Seinfeld, whatever it's called.
Right.
I was gonna pitch
Festivus for the rest of us.
Festivus. No,
I was
the
gonna
Dinosaurs
quote
TV
my
show.
mom.
That I love.
We'll
They
go
have-
back.
That's what
We'll
you
do
were
it
pitching
next
off
year, Mike.
pod.
Refrigerator
Yeah.
Day. Yeah, great
Dinosaur
episode.
special, your favorite.
That's kind
Yeah,
of
I
your
bought all
Doctor
those
Who, right?
DVDs.
That's my Doctor
Um,
Who. Yeah.
Yeah. But we should say, so next week,
Yes.
let's announce we will
We're
be
switching
talking.
religions.
yes.
You know what?
We're
We're
converting.
going a little Jewish with this one. We say
what a
goodbye to
mess.
Santa Claus, and we get out our menorahs, and we say,
That's
let's
right.
light the menorahs. Let's eat our potato pancakes, our latkes.
Dreidel. We're gonna dreidel
and
it up.
Careful,
We're gonna
boys.
dreidel it up. We're not gonna, say anything that we regret. But no, we
Nope.
will
No.
be talking about the Adam Sandler animated classic, 8 Crazy Nights.
Incredible.
The only Hanukkah
Name
movie that I
another.
can think
Yeah.
of.
Yeah,
Name
name
another,
another.
listeners. We dare you.
That's right. And of course, Hanukkah, the first day of Hanukkah is next Monday. So it's perfect
recording
timing
on the
to
first
talk about
Great.
the first crazy night.
God,
Of
we're gonna
Hanukkah.
do a whole episode. We're gonna talk about Adam Sandler, the albums, growing up with him on SNL, his whole movie career. Like, there's
We've never done an Adam
there's-
Sandler anything.
No, we never have. And he plays
Wow.
4 characters in this movie. I mean, it's like
Yep.
strap
I would say
in is all I'm gonna say.
I have not seen
got
this
his
movie in
music, yeah.
probably 20 years. I do
Wow.
not remember anything about it except there's a lot of like
I
shit and fart jokes in it, I
yes,
think.
I loved it as a child.
Yeah.
We saw it in theaters, and then I got tremendously wasted with Joe in college, and we watched it one time and had a blast from what I recall. So with
Yeah.
sober eyes, I wonder what this
We'll see
will
how
be
it holds
like.
up. I can say, yeah, I've confidently have not seen it since the 2000s. Don't
Yeah.
remember loving it when I saw it. Again, it's I'm I'm a huge Adam Sandler fan. I don't always love some of his lower brow humor that I'm just like, well,
This is maybe
Yeah.
the lowest.
yeah. But it mixes in, a nice message about Hanukkah. So maybe I'll learn all about the 8 crazy nights.
Yeah, I have a memory of. I've only seen it maybe once years ago, and it was like contemporary. But I feel like it had a decent. I was touched emotionally. I think I teared up a little bit. That's what I remember. So I'm wondering if the holiday message is gonna hit as hard. Now.
There's a clip
so.
of it that I've watched a couple times online that makes me cry. So
Yeah, we'll
I don't
see.
know.
I'm excited to revisit it and kudos to Adam Sandler for being like, you know what? There's a million like Christmas movies and things. I'm gonna make a Hanukkah movie because that's really
Well,
again, you can't think of another one.
Jacob, I don't know if you know this. He wrote a very famous song about the
Oh,
holiday,
really?
actually.
Oh my
You'll never
gosh.
guess what the title of it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get this, guys. An hour and 16 minutes. So it's gonna be
God bless.
easy breezy,
God,
baby.
short.
that's one of those things
Yeah.
where since I'll be doing it, let me tell you, an hour and 16 minutes before we hit record on that very episode,
Yep.
you'll love to
Sure.
hear it, Mike.
Beautiful.
Animated, a musical. It's got a
Yep.
lot going on. So we'll
And
talk
then
about it.
we have one
Excited for
more,
that.
and then we're taking a break till New Year's.
We're going back to
Yeah.
Miyazaki, of course, with Spirited Away.
Yep.
Which strangely not Christmassy at all, but it feels like I don't know, it kind of fits the holiday
It's about
season for me.
celebration, and it's such a festive, so a perfect end of the year wrap up for us. I would
Yeah, and
say,
I've not seen that
to
one.
go out
so
on our long form study.
yeah, I'm excited for it.
Yeah.
Cool.
So I'm excited. And that'll end 2025 for the normies.
So that's the
Think about
who's
that.
who's and the what's for you.
Yeah.
That's right.
And
We
a
haven't
hell
Thanks
of
seen
for
Doctor Who,
bearing
though.
with me with the Doctor Who. And I love revisiting it with you guys and getting your normie takes. It's always
Yeah.
fun.
I guess Peter
Follow you
Capaldi's
anywhere,
kind of the
Captain.
Grinch of Doctor Who's. For looking at the Doctor Whoville metaphor.
Yeah. And if you want to learn more about him, watch his other specials, watch his seasons if you are so inclined. I still like him. I don't like him as much as Tennant or even Matt Smith maybe, but I do like his take on the Doctor. And as a lifelong Doctor Who fan, Peter Capaldi from childhood, I'm glad he got to play one of his heroes.
I love
That's
that
probably
for him. There you go.
good thing for him. Yeah. And I like him as an actor and other stuff too. So shout out Peter Capaldi.
Am I wrong? Was he in a new wave punk band with Peter Dinklage?
That would be
He might have been.
crazy.
Is that just one of those
Yeah.
facts that you just hear and you're like, maybe, I don't know, I guess. Or he was maybe in a
with Peter Dinklage, I don't
semi-famous
know.
new wave
Yeah.
band, and maybe Peter Dinklage also was. Maybe
That's possible. I don't know about the Peter Dinklage part, but that might be
Right,
true.
I take it all back. All right.
The drummer Craig
Anyways.
Ferguson, the band called the Dream Boys.
Oh,
Peter
he was in a
Capaldi.
band with Craig Ferguson. That's
Craig Ferguson.
awesome.
That sounds more.
Wow.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yo, two Scott.
I know he has
Yeah.
some music stuff. Yeah. I like him. I like Peter Capaldi.
I like him. I like him too. I like it
All
when
right.
he's got chess pieces glued to his head.
Yeah. At 2025 Glastonbury Festival, he joined the indie rock band Franz Ferdinand during their set. So there you go.
Wow.
That's man.
Played "Take Me Out" with Franz
Sophomore
Ferdinand.
Colin would have loved to hear that. Let me
He's
tell you.
living his best
Yeah.
life, that Peter.
He's a cool guy. Yeah, we
Yeah.
love him.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
All right.
Well,
Shout
He's
out
a great Scott.
we hope you love him
Right.
too. We hope you're shouting him out. We hope you're writing in to
Glasgow,
tell us.
born and raised.
Tell us your rankings of your doctors. I would love to hear that from
Yeah.
a million fans.
Modern
Phil,
Doctor.
Oz. Yeah.
God,
Ooh, we don't like any of those guys.
I was gonna say
we don't.
Dr. Oz way at the bottom.
We don't
And
like
Phil.
any of those guys.
Yeah.
Any of those doctors that Oprah introduced to the world.
Well, Dr. Phil, I believe, declared bankruptcy earlier this year. Is lost his mind or something, maybe. So
He needs to get in with the Trump administration. That's
Yeah,
where
oh
it's
I
at.
think that's what's ruined him, unfortunately. So,
You need to get real. Yeah.
you got to get real, pal. Yeah, check us out. Let us know those things. Hit us up at normies_like_us on all social media. You don't have to take a TARDIS to reach us. You can, in fact, just talk to us there. No sonic screwdriver needed. You can rate, review, subscribe, as we said, or hit us up and say, this is what I want to see you guys cover in the new year. Why haven't you done an episode on these things? We love to get those kind of messages.
That's right. I love
Yep.
the 12th Doctor. He's my favorite. I like
the lady. Whoa.
I love Nardole.
Whoa,
He's my
Jodie
favorite
Whittaker listens to our podcast? That's what I think. That's
Yeah.
wild.
Wow. All right.
But yeah, that's all, folks.
Yeah.
Yep.
We've been your hosts. This is Companion Colin.
Mike Dahl. I kind of became a robot for a little bit.
And this is Dr. Jacob signing off. We love you.
We're
Happy
all right.
holidays.
We'll catch you
Normies.
next time, innit?
Oi, Gov. It's part of Christmas.
Merry Christmas, innit? All right. Hit stop.
Love it.